We are tWoTcast, episode 307.
Oh my god.
No, he doesn't know.
Okay.
All right, everyone shut the f*** up. Let's ready to record.
We like to start every show by yelling, "We are tWoTcast." Can you do that with me? On the count of 1, 2, 3, go. We are tWoTcast. Now we can start.
The Wheel of Time Reread Podcast. Explicit and R. Freaking rated. Jono's the wild card. Always talking shit. Joe's the straight man. He's a total dick. Tom is still obsessed with X-Men.
Previously on X-Men.
We are
Hi, I'm Jono, and with me as always is Joe.
Oh, hi.
Hi. And what's funny, Joe, is I was actually going to change the intro to "and now always here is Tom."
And then he's not.
And then Tom is not
Brings
here.
back memories of the age-old times of episode 2 when he already dipped out.
Oh, too. But Tom is always here in my heart.
Yeah, that's true.
Instead, we're going to have a stand-in guest called Technical Difficulties with the Camera, apparently. Taffy Bennington, the one and only Taffy Bennington, will be joining us, presuming the technical difficulties are fixed.
You know, at some point, she'll get it together.
Yeah.
Or not.
Maybe. So you are viewing, watching, listening, diddling to tWoTcast, the Wheel of Time reread Wheel of Time podcast, as well as the rewatch streaming show. Now covering season
Very
1,
good. Very
episode 7 of Twat Show, which I'm surprised is not what they call it, but that's...
I mean, why don't they call it Twat Show?
I don't know. It's very distressing.
It should be.
It should be.
Yes,
I'd like to apologize
yes.
to the audience first. I just dropped my wife off at the airport, and as a good, dutiful husband, I am stone cold sober.
Did you take a shuttle service so your cars were still there?
Didn't go to the airport. So I'm sure you guys are excited to watch this.
It's a deep cut Home Alone joke for our viewers, and they're all viewers, Jono. I know.
Yes. It's a very small shot, and I'm drinking out of what are really just chemistry flasks. So
What are you?
Shanda bought these.
You're explaining that you were on the way to the airport because you're catching up with shots. Is that what you're saying?
Way behind.
I see.
Nothing a little cheap bottle of whiskey can't help with.
Oh, so I have to say, I mean, not that we're going to do ratings yet, but what a breath of fresh air this episode was compared to last week. You know?
Yeah, Jesus. Like 5 and 6 were like weird, shitty dreams at this point. Hopefully, I don't know how long we want to wait for the one and only Taffy.
No, we can just get into it. We'll just bring her in when she's ready.
Okay.
I think she's trying to work out her camera, right?
Yeah, that's right.
We need. We'll get going.
What's funny is while we're sitting here, a friend just texted me, "Men is too old." All right.
They're all aged up, but also, it's they don't have makeup. Wait till later when she's Elmandretta.
Yeah, when she's Elmandretta Farshaw.
I thought she looked great.
No, I had no. Again,
from a Psychotic Men fan, I enjoyed every second she was on the screen. So
yeah. So let's Joe, let's get to it. Do I forget? Do I need to say more stuff?
Sure.
Oh, okay.
Well, we need to say spoilers only for the TV show, though.
Only for the TV show. We're going to do our best, and we'll probably fuck it up. Also, don't forget the
and then later on in the show, we will do spoilers and books, TV and book spoilers, that is. of course. And then
or spoilers, as they're called.
And in between that will be ratings.
Ratings.
On
Billy
a scale
Zane.
of 1 to 10, Billy Zanes.
It still delights me to even have that as a rating.
I mean, how else would we do it? This is episode 7, The Dark Along the Ways, which you're supposed to say, Jono. A spoiler review and breakdown.
Perfect. I just said that. Thank you, Joe, for reiterating it. For the first part, you want to get
Hold
up
on,
our...
This is in relation to your wife.
Playing
Oh,
to
man.
fill her up with helium.
Now this part makes sense too, because I didn't know what that meant for a second. It's not real. These are all true things.
Yeah.
All right, first scene we get
Aiel.
I guess,
Or Rand.
well, yes, but specifically Rand's mommy, and I'll not say another word because to even say her name, I think, is kind of a spoiler.
It's Shail. It's bizarre that if you pause it, you get a spoiler. You know, if you pause it,
Wait, what?
Amazon's X-ray tells you her name.
Oh, okay. Well,
Yeah.
that's fair enough then.
Yeah.
Um,
So don't pause it. Also,
So-
I love this freeze frame you've got of this guy having an ice cream headache in the background.
that's exactly what that is. It's really cold, Jono. Taffy's here backstage, but I think she's kind of situating herself. I'll give her a second.
Yeah.
So anyway, spoiler name, Shai. Wait, what name do they give her?
Tigraine Mantiar.
Okay, so they say Tigraine. Okay. So anyway,
Hi.
Tigraine. Oh,
Hi, Taffy.
Hi, Taffy. Let's pause for a second because we just got started.
Yeah.
Taffy's here.
Hello, gentlemen.
How are you?
John Oman.
Let me see your sweater, Jono.
Oh, it's the same one I've worn probably about 30 times on camera. I'm just gonna dick the camera here.
Did you? Awesome.
Yeah.
Wow. And you got a haircut too.
I did.
Looks nice.
What?
Thank you.
How do you notice that?
Professionalism, Joe. That's what she exudes.
First
to
of
me.
all, as always, Taffy is always the nicest human being on the planet.
Yeah.
It always makes me feel horrible for not paying attention more to other people.
You're a man.
saw me.
Okay.
Jono, you have a lovely haircut this evening.
Joe, you saw me yesterday on on a recording, and Friday in real life, and you're still a piece of shit.
Yeah.
We just started talking about Tigraine Taffy.
And remember, this is the spoiler-free part, unless you press pause on the middle of the scene and you get her name.
But for only the TV show.
Yeah. So this is the spoiler-free. This is just our shitty.
It's not spoiler free. It's spoiler free for the books. This is a spoiler review of this episode, but
Whatever.
only for the TV show. Anyway, Tigraine's a badass. She kills 6 dudes, and the last one she uses his own knife that she had already been stabbed with to jam into his throat. Not marmalade. And it was spectacular, and I loved it.
It made me spill this whiskey here. I think it's a fucking cool scene, right? Another friend to me, the first thing he said was "Sword of the Morning, eat your heart out," which is, of course, the dude from Game of Thrones who uses 2 swords and is one of the best fighters of all time. I don't know. This fucking up chick, she's going nuts. Maybe
He's the Matt Cawthon of the Game of Thrones show, right? Because he got recast.
no, that's the.
Oh, is that not him? I thought that was that guy.
Yeah, the Sword of the Morning is a retrospective thing with Ed Nerd Stark. It's okay. Don't worry about it. Yeah.
The
cheers,
most BA scene we've seen so far is what I wrote.
Cheers.
Yeah. I thought you said BAC, and I'm like, I'm not even drunk yet. That actually,
That opening scene almost killed me.
it was fucking
I thought it was
delightful.
fantastic.
I almost
Yeah.
couldn't take it. It was so incredible.
So I've heard that.
Almost
Also, we've
lost
never
it.
we've never got to see that. Really, like
Yes,
we see
Lily.
it. Best cold open. I agree.
I agree. It's fucking badass. And we've seen like 1 or 2 freeze frames or whatever of like an Aiel in snow. So your assumption is,
Yeah,
battle.
we saw that. Like, I think they had a GIF of it on.
Yeah.
Her jumping with the cape.
But you had no great show too. But you had no idea what this was going to be, right? I did not realize that it was going to be this scene.
What would you do if one of those Ilianer men just used his cape like the cape and just whipped something and got a spear out of her hand? Oh, that'd been amazing.
She's just wearing a hoodie.
Greta, we should just do a cape
Did you see that
rewatch.
cape move?
Yeah. I thought the fucking action in this, I want to see like what this looked like as far as like the amount of practice they had to do to put it. And every time she has to like bend over for like, her cramps and all that,
Yeah.
it's fucking, yeah.
The
it's pretty
pausing
nice.
to have birth pains was like amazing.
Yeah.
It stopped her up once, and then it just pissed her off that he got her in trouble.
She's like, fuck.
Yeah.
I mean,
I-
she got
really
stabbed.
horrible.
She got stabbed the second time. It happened again when that guy was near her. And
Well,
she was
pulled it
basically
out of
about
her
to
side
slit his
and
throat.
just nail him in the throat. It's awesome.
Oh man, yeah, so
It
good.
does, perturb me, not as a spoiler, but obviously waters are supposed to be this plus, right? I mean, every
Mhm.
water is a blade master pretty much, right? And Aiel are, just always awesome, but they're not necessarily, again, some can be, of course. Like, but having watched a whole fucking army of warders army, they're like what, 6 or 8 or something like that in the forest a few episodes back. They did nothing anywhere near as cool as this. And
This was amazing.
Yeah. So I do have some issues with that. But that being said, stylistically, visually, fuck yeah. I know how she
I
got.
wrote Tam's dew drips from his branch at the end.
He looked a little.
Then the
young
intro happens.
CGI Tam looked a little. I don't think the term's allowed.
That wasn't the best, and that's not a spoiler for the books. Get better young face.
Yeah,
That's probably why they didn't do ageless faces for the Aes Sedai.
that's true.
Like,
Yeah.
this looks horrible. Let's just use it on the Tam scene and call it a day.
Right. I forgave it all. It was all so fucking rad.
Oh,
that
no,
I
yeah, it
didn't
was
really
fine.
care. Like,
But-
yeah.
Yeah, I think forgiving all, like, again, the fact that any of this exists makes it all forgivable. It's just fucking cool.
Yeah, I agree.
It really is delightful.
It is fucking with my brain a little bit. I'm starting to confuse things from the books with the show sometimes in my head, and it's pissing me off a little bit.
So that is the only thing that's unforgivable about like books versus movies is, again, it's your own fault for doing so. Sorry, Taffy. But
Yeah, I guess, but
I
it's
want
never happened to
nothing.
me
I
before.
want them to be two separate entities. Unless, of course, it's the Harry Potter movies, which, of course, started the idea of books, or the Harry Potter books.
Invented.
Yeah, they invented. It's a very tautological cycle. It's very interesting.
Mm-hmm.
I should have kept it myself, but it pisses me off. But I'll deal with it. I'll continue to watch it, but
Well, shall we go on to the ways?
Yeah. So after the intro, we get inside the ways. I wrote, they leave Matt. He has a darkness in him. Rand is loyal. No using the one power. Says loyal. She's moving fast. We'll die. We'll have to find him. I promise. Let's go. Oh, Nynaeve says we'll find him. I promise, kind of thing.
Taffy, your thoughts on just kind of the ways in general, like as far like visually, sexually, what do you think?
well, it was very cool. I did like how they kept Loyal's talk about how there was trees on the islands and there was fruit that you could pick and
Yeah.
eat and relax on the grass. Because I loved that. So there's things like that they do make sure are in there that keeps you in the vibe of the world and the characters and stuff. It's really cool.
Yeah, only question is where the fuck would you put a tree on those? Like, I know that's the islands we're talking about versus these little
I think
pathways.
what's meant to be those like pillar
Bridges.
type like
Yeah.
hexagonal shapes is that like there what may have been more of them, and those might have had like earth. Like they're made like that's
Just
just like
feel
the
like-
rock that's left over.
So let's say there's like 6 wide. They used to be 18 wide, but they've rotted.
Yeah. They used to be like more.
By the way,
they've been falling
spoiler
off kind of
bad
thing.
job. But yeah, okay, I can buy that. Why not? Because
Or
that's
like
different.
pathways, maybe those are like pathways.
Yeah, I don't hate that. It's like
I-
a weird Minecraft thing. I've never played Minecraft.
We can get it's kind of
Yeah.
we can get into the let's get into the ways like the design and like discussion about the ways like in the spoiler section because I have more to say there. But there's a real quick like what if Matt was the one and Moraine's like he's not, and if he is, he can't go anywhere near the dark one. That's it.
So I love
So
that.
kinda like-
Personally,
Yeah.
I think that's again. There's probably 8,000 words you can put to about what happened and how they clearly had to kind of pivot on certain things. But I think that almost it's kind of one of those things where if you're not here, then the pattern doesn't want you here, which means either you're not it or you were never meant to be it. And I think it's kind of self-sufficient in that way. So I like that. Although I do again hate the fact that Matt's not there. Hexatrees.
Yeah.
Very valid. Yeah.
Maybe they're just... What if it's him? What do you think about this? Well, I guess we can't really talk about that. Never mind. Can we have a discussion about this without spoiling things?
Okay, let's do it.
The answer is no. Moving on.
Oh.
Traveling the ways. You already said this, Taffy, but Fruit Tree is loyal reminisces. This is kind of all the same scene, but you know, there's a good shot. I tried to get a shot of it with the lightning flashing so you could actually see it a little.
Yeah.
Oh, that's great.
There's the
yeah.
It's pretty cool. It's pretty cool design. I like it.
Yeah, it's not what's in my own head necessarily, but I think it's interesting. It seems more like we walked into like a cave that we're gonna draw a top to eventually. But yeah, it's cool.
It's like a D&D set for. It's like a game board for real people.
Yeah,
I'm like I don't know what. That's what it kind of reminds me of. So it is kind of funny in that way, but like it's pretty cool. Perrin spots the way or the guiding post real quick.
It was weird how he did it, but I love it because it shows his eyes.
Why was it weird how he did it?
Well, because like there's something coming out there. Like, have you looked at?
You mean like why didn't he just say there's a thing in the way?
Have you looked at the guiding versus every other stalactite and stalagmite, whichever one it is? Like, why would you?
I think the idea was that it was in the middle of the path. I don't know if they like conveyed that very well, but maybe he just saw a shape in the middle of the path and freaked out because like maybe he could see it but not quite make out what it was, perhaps, or like maybe it was like the size of a person or a Trolloc or something, and he was like, "What the fuck is that?"
Could be, but there's
way before they could ever see it, kind of thing.
But there's shit all over it, you know, and I did like this that they, you know, there's clearly a reason for Loyal to be there.
Yeah.
Yeah. What did I do here? All right, what do we got? Trolloc attack?
Trolloc attack. Taffy?
What were you going to say, Jonah?
I think it might be spoiler.
Oh.
Go for it.
Really?
Well, I mean,
I don't know.
I'm pissed that Land didn't sense it, or
so we've been bashing the warder's inabilities to do warder stuff in the spoiler section. So we'll table that for now. But
I guess
definitely worth coming back to.
It's been almost a week and I'm still pissed about it. So you know,
I can understand that.
But
I did
story, and then with Rand and McQueen, I know that was necessary for telling the story. So
yeah. Also, on another note, I was interested in the fact that so I like everything that's happening here. Like, but one of the things I don't think I picked up on my first watch, because this is of course a rewatch episode show, is, you know, when they see the guiding, you know, I'm not even drunk, but Moraine says, "Hey, we have another day's ride to where we need to go." Okay. And then they get to the guiding, and while that's happening in the morning kind of thing, but they haven't left the guiding, all of a sudden the Trolloc attacks, someone channels, and we have to go to Faldara. So it ends up they were never going to Faldara. They are thinking that they're taking a waygate directly to Eye or something in the Blight, which possible.
I would assume Malkir, maybe.
Yeah, so there are waygates in the Blight which are corrupted, which is how they get there. But that's I think that's an interesting thing that personally took me for a loop. Really, is that Faldara was never their original
destination. Yeah,
and you know, thank God they got lucky. A2D, we're not that lucky to to have Faldara as a fallback option, because it was supposed to be a full day's ride, and then Match and Shin shows up, and guess what? Thankfully, it's a 6-minute jog this way before the wind.
Real quick before we move on to that scene, Farstrider said 3 episodes and Loyal got the shaft, hardly any dialogue. 4 more minutes in the ways could have given him some time to expand his character. I can't not agree with her. Like, why why on earth did we have so much time with Stepan and his Aes Sedai? Like that could have been truncated down to something a little more manageable and like, or maybe one episode. And it's just like, we got so much time with that side story. And I'm just like, it just really took away from all the main characters. And I get that they're trying to like get to a certain point before they reveal Rand and like keep it a mystery for the audience. But you're at the same time, you're just like, show me more of the main characters. Like, I don't care about these other people. Like, I want to learn more about the world as an audience only member, but like, I don't know. It just felt lacking. I can't not agree with that.
It's an interesting juxtaposition because like, one of the things that in the books, this is not a spoiler, I love about them is how many fucking billion side characters there are that have fleshed out, like, you know, a little bit about their thoughts, their way of dress, whatever the hell, like kind of like there's some of their actions, right? Like this dude's a Caribbean soldier. He shaves the front, which is the dumbest looking idea, but that's okay. Like, you know these things, right? Like, you get that. But here in a story that's you have far less time, realistically, you want to almost concentrate on your main characters because you want to make sure they're the main characters, right? Because there's just such a surplus of side characters. It's almost bizarrely too many. I don't know. There's probably to my mind, it just seems like there's better ways to do it that kind of get plot-inducing versus shit like Stepan or well, I guess not Stepan. Everyone else pounding their chest while Stepan's just hanging out there. You get 2 minutes of that. Like
that was interesting, like insight into the Aes Sedai and like how they work on the show and like the rings of the melting of the ring, and it's a big deal that the warder lost his Aes Sedai, and it's very dramatic. Like, and like I get all of those things, and spoilers for later, but I understand why that would matter later. Like, there's reasons why they might be like putting that front and center, and it's just, but like at the same time, you're like, why are we like? You're already cramming an entire book into like short 8 episodes. You're mixing in parts of book 2 and stuff. Like, you're mixing in stuff, but you're just like, why are we spending so much time on something that isn't necessarily important? Like, and it can be conveyed later or in a different way. I don't know.
Yeah.
Anyway, Mak and Shin. How about Race from Mak and Shin? They run to the Faldara Gate. And then I just wrote literally everything that Mak and Shin said.
I found this a very interesting. Like, I think visually, Mak and Shin looks fucking cool. I really did.
Yeah. So let me ask you something. Do you so I was sort of expecting like black smoke or something. I don't know what I was expecting, but it wasn't this.
Yeah.
Are these like little chips of the stone like caught up in the wind or something? Like, what is this? What are we looking at?
I wouldn't think so, but
little bits and pieces of like the rock that's broken off and it's just like whipping around like a tornado would.
Well, that would take the flesh off your bones. That's
a solid point.
Yeah, but I wouldn't think the answer is yes. I just because there's no real, in this case, A to B as far as show to book kind of thing. But so I both liked it a lot as far as what I know. There's a lot of, and when we get in the spoiler section, I know there's some people who have some issues with it. I think personally, if it had started at this level and then read up to a slightly darker.
Oh, real quick, we never finished Trolloc Attack. I just wanted to make sure you saw, like, there was an upskirt shot of this Trolloc. I thought it was really important.
Ooh, I'm getting in on that. Looks almost like you could draw the contours of a dickhead. That's what I'm saying.
Someone make this picture more clear.
Yeah.
I just want to know, like,
what love is?
How big is that Trolloc dick, you know?
Yeah.
It's important to me.
Sorry, I've been talking over Joe mainly intentionally, but you less or so. But so I liked kind of where the Match and Shin kind of like it comes at your fucking brain. Like it's a very, very kind of I haven't seen Expanse season 4, so I don't. Are those dick jokes? Is that a dick joke?
No, it's a rock chips in the wind joke.
Oh, damn! That was how it was a dick joke.
Finish your thought. I mean,
anyway, I get like as soon as I read one thing, I'm done. But yeah, so what I would really like is for there to have kind of been, this undermining mental kind of fuckery, really, right? And then revving it up like, you've lost Egwene or whatever, you've lost whomever, and then, what have you done?
I thought it did an okay job.
Yeah. What's that?
I thought it did an okay job. It ramped up in the sense that like it gave you a bit of each person was hearing, and then it focused on Nynaeve and like ramped hers up like crazy, and that's when she like, goes crazy.
Yeah. Taffy.
When I first started reading these books, Nynaeve was my very favorite for a long, long, long time.
For the longest time.
Yes, I mean, and I still adore her. So I'm really enjoying seeing her come to life, and it's fun. It's really fun. But
Brando wants you to shut up, Jono, and I agree.
No, I want to talk to Jono. Hi, Brando.
That's actually Brando Sanzo, but the author.
Amazing. He's here.
Yeah.
Missed
Wow.
opportunity. Like the Arab. Sorry, Hello Sunmate said, missed opportunity to make Mike and Shin look like a darker version of the Aram gif, and we all know what that means.
Oh, right.
Apparently, it's just instant slaughter for me, right? Like, I'm just fucking done. I will say that there is nothing better than those 2 episodes so far.
I'm so hungry.
You know what? Fuck it. Next year, instead of Home Alone, I'm taking this off. We should just do Encino Man.
We'll just all dress up as Brendan Fraser. I mean, Aram.
The house where they shot it is probably 20 minutes for me. I could go set up outside the house.
Well, we're going to LA. We're recording.
Tom's costume from Encino Man will be in an ice block. Jono's will be all cleaned up and like he's a caveman in the 90s, and I'll just be covered in mud.
Okay, and then I'll be the.
We'll all be dressed as Encino Man Aram. All right, we got to figure it out. We know what we're doing here.
Yeah.
All right, what do you think about the chanting crazy shit scene, Taffy?
You mean Mash and Shin? Like,
yeah.
Well, it's really interesting because something I learned this year from my friend Juliet. She made a movie about it's through the story of a vampire, but it's about narcissism, and one of the things that she's taught me is that almost all humans, like about 80% of their internal monologue is negative.
Mm-hmm.
70-80%. I know people vary. So that's what it seems like it would. I never really thought about it, reading about it, but having it, show each one and coming through, it just amplifies.
So is it like reading their minds, and then that's
it amplifies?
It's telling.
Yeah, I mean, it's really trippy. I thought they did a cool job with that.
Mine's all dick jokes. I'll be very honest. Like, it is all dick jokes, pussy jokes, things that rhyme with analingus, which is dingus.
That's true.
Yeah,
that's true.
It is not a real.
But
clear.
I mean, John, everybody knows this, John.
You're not going to rhyme it. Maybe you're worried about the delivery of saying your dick jokes, or.
No, I keep a lot on the inside. It's like I've got an innie, if you will, for phallically. I've got an innie.
Yeah. Jono, believe it or not, Jono does have a filter from the horrible things that he says out loud. It's just like, whereas most people have like a small hole that some shit can escape out of, Jono's asshole is just like enormously stretched out.
Yeah. There were a couple times, even in our Home Alone episode that we recorded last night, where the comments, because I don't want Joe to have to, like, the comments sometimes I have to just put in there, like on our own personal private chat.
Oh yeah, he put something in private chat, and he's like, can't say this out loud, and I was just like, no, you can't.
Oh wow!
Still got to me and Tom privately though, so it wasn't quite filtered out.
Yeah, it's close though. Yeah.
That's a sign of maturity. I'm so proud of you, Jono.
I'm only 36.
Good work, Jono. You're maturing.
Yeah, just a decade behind the times.
Anyway, getting back to this show that we're talking about. Anyway, so Nynaeve holds back the Black Wind. I wrote, Moraine opens the gate. They get out. Well done, all of you. Forget what it said. Did Loyal hear something? ? Wonder if we circle back to that. That was my comment for this point.
So now we get to outside this kind of desert area right outside of Faldera, the fortress city, which looks pretty fucking cool. I don't know if it's too small or maybe the scale doesn't really apply correctly because, literally every piece of it is inhabitable. Obviously, one issue here might be the fact that there's clearly no agriculture, but it's there for strategic reasons. It looks... It's not a place that I want to live in the quote-unquote Randland, though.
I mean, I really appreciate the distinct looks that they're giving each place that they're in.
I thought kind of like an awesome Loyal joke from the books where he's talking about how he's like the architecture is so drab, and he's just like, wait a minute,
it's very Stark.
Yeah, Tony Stark. That's not right.
Tony Stark.
Yeah, he's like, I've read those books. Yeah.
But no, I really like how the show is taking like pains to point. I mean, like the White Tower looked amazing. Every scene in the White Tower looked really good. Like the architecture was crazy over the top. I know you didn't like the CGI tunnel of the hall.
The hall of the tower.
But like other than that, like it's still like the city itself looked really cool and looked distinct. Yeah. Had a distinct feel to it. When we return to it, you'll be like, oh yeah, I remember this place. Like it looks enough separated. Like when they're hallways of Faldera, like you're like, oh, there's like red brick on the wall, like because there's red.
Actually, I really noticed the detail of the brick was cool. It was like it was like charcoal colored, and it looked like worn, but also like it was done like that on purpose, or maybe it was like part of fortification, with building it or something, But I noticed that there too. The colors of everything.
It still had its own like rough beauty to it, but it was just like you could tell all the hallways were just like it's stone, so we can fight, like kind of thing. Like it's not like pretty as Tarvalon kind of thing.
I'll be honest, if I were them, I'd probably put a little more fortifications around the pass, but that's just me.
Whatever.
I
don't know. Based on the way the blight looks, I was like, well, how did Trollocs even get out of there? Rand and Moraine had to like.
They do this through
sidestep in. I was like, they're normal-sized humans. You could just if you were manning Tarwin's Gap, you could just be like, here they come. Get the army. I could see them. They're making their way through the trees.
What if they, those cliffs? What if they just back up against the cliffs and just like along the cliff, like the
just sidling?
Yeah, and then they get on the ground and go like this, like.
Oh man. I'm glad we put so much thought into this.
Yeah.
What do you guys think about the conversation outside the ways? Like, don't listen to what he said. Like, Rand's like visibly crying, turns away from Egwene. Like, Perrin's upset, which is, I think, his current status of how he always looks. And
so I think that they've made like Moraine is a little colder than I would really think necessarily.
Really? I think she's like wildly open and shows that she cares for them way more than I would have expected.
Oh, really? I don't think that I think that there's parts of her that are, if she had just been a little bit warmer, like, Moraine, thank you. Way of the Leaf is Moraine is the best camp counselor. I don't know about that. Maybe if she'd been warmer, like a real camp counselor. The guys.
Get back to your bunks. You're in trouble.
Never mind. I'm done. One wet summer joke. I'm done. American. I forgot that. Well, fuck it. Yeah. So
anyway. Okay.
She gave.
Do you think? Sorry, Tavi. Go ahead.
Well, the one line of advice was good and it was appropriate before they could move on. She gives them what they need before they can.
Yeah, for sure. She's just like, listen, we all heard horrible shit. Yeah. Get it out of your brains. It's not important. That being said, like we didn't hear what Loyal said, or we didn't hear what Loyal heard, rather. And then Loyal's just kind of standing off to the side, kind of like standing very straight and shell shocked. Like I'm like, are they going to circle back around to that? Is that just going to be like a listen? He's not a main character, so we didn't spend time on it. Moving on, kind of thing.
Let's get to that in the spoiler stuff because I've got some thoughts there.
Okay, fair enough. Yeah. Well, yeah, that could definitely lead into spoilers. Yeah. So arrive at Faldera. I have is the next thing here.
So we meet our good friend
Not
Alan.
quite there. Here. Yeah.
Yes. So is that, by the way, that's Guy Roberts. That is I got an email, as you did too, Joe, from Alan and Amy Romanchuk, that they know Guy Roberts, who now follows us on Twitter, I believe.
Yeah, because Tom was tweeting weird things to his
Yeah,
brother.
weird UGA thing. So that is Uno. And do you know how many eyes he has in Spanish?
Dos? Is it dos?
It's Uno, idiot.
Amazing.
Oh shit!
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
I
You guys
fucked that
forget.
up, Dono. I'm
You guys
sorry.
constantly forget. My second
It was such
undergrad.
It was such an obvious answer.
My second undergrad degree was Spanish. I know what I'm talking about.
Oh, this is also Lord Ingtar, by the way.
Not quite
You
how I
said that,
saw
Donna?
him before, but I don't hate it. You know, he looks Persian, right? So I can tell him weird things in Farsi. Khubi, khesh mikanam, borgam shad. Yeah.
Is this borderline racist? What are you doing? I
You
know
know,
you know Farsi.
Ryan. I no, I all I
I
said was
know.
kuna dustar, yeah.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That makes it better.
Yeah, that means I like your ass in
Oh,
Farsi.
Bombshell? It doesn't
I
Yeah.
knew it. It's
Kunet
inappropriate.
dustar, yeah, or Dashari's bathroom, by the way, which is what I call my wife's
So
pussy.
I wrote, we meet Uno and Ingtar. Algamar is oddly insulting. Never mind. I can't go on.
Oh my god.
Why am I trying to keep this on rails?
So, but to Joe's point about Agomar, we'll talk about in the spoiler section. I found this a little bit abrupt, and I didn't appreciate it too much.
I wrote make so non-spoilery. I wrote make some weird assumptions. Stop airing your family dramas, bro.
Yeah,
And then I wrote Moraine says wall up the gate. He realizes he offends and asks them to stay.
yeah. I really love the wall up the gate idea because that's as you know, it's not even a spoiler. Clearly, there's a way gate.
Spoiler, not
somewhere
fast
over
enough.
here.
Peyton Finn
Yeah.
walks out 5 seconds later.
Whoa, it doesn't say Fane.
He just
But-
he's like walking like this.
Yeah, yeah. Like, if you told me
He's
there-
strutting. He's strutting
Yeah.
around. We're gonna get back to Patton Fane
I
in the
like that
spoiler
better than
area.
the scurrying thing that he should be doing by now. You know, they're just like, like
Yeah.
Fair enough.
Fane has like somehow he must have double blood because he's clearly walking hard as fuck, but at the same time, like
Hey, look at this news.
Yeah.
Not Ingtar. Actor took another job, so they changed the name. I was actually kind of wondering about that.
wow.
thank you, Anthony.
Oh, he got a role in the Willow show, says Brando.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Willow.
Well, good for you. Not Ingtar anymore.
Not Ingtar.
I've got
Algamar was really defensive for no reason. Says Hello Sunmaid. I agree. That was really
I
funny.
can't wait
Like,
to
it was weird.
Hello Sunmaid, when we get to the spoiler part of the show, I have some
Yeah,
thoughts.
I can only
Yeah.
assume they were just trying to show what a random ruler might or may be acting.
I don't want to talk about it
towards.
now because I'm pretty angry about it.
But he relented
Well,
though when she when she spoke her piece. He's like, okay, yeah, go take care of
Yeah,
it. Like, that
He
was,
was quick. He was quick to forgive.
yeah,
his
and
own
I don't know where
stupidity.
that makes sense.
You know what women are not?
Yeah.
Quick to forget. That's a proverb.
So we already kind of talked about it, but we get a real quick. Fane exits the ways, and then
How do you know it's Fane?
how do I know? It's quite obvious.
Also, the one on the right, like the Tower of Stones, looks like a really bad version of like a dog version of a Sphinx. It's just kind of
Are you like Rorschach testing the rock formations?
Yeah.
What's
I am.
happening?
yeah. Look,
Okay.
you see me do 4 shots on the camera right now.
Jono's just like looking at the rocks, going like, "That one's definitely a dick."
The one in the middle definitely is, but it'll probably get killed too early by Brandon Sanderson. That's not fair.
What's not fair, honey?
Exactly.
Oh, okay.
I just said Sanderson.
Some
ruined it.
weird Brendan Sanderson comment. I don't know.
Oh,
Yeah.
I can't read any of the comments because
Oh, I said it myself. Anyway, so let's get back
Taffy
to it.
wisdom. Yeah.
tell me later. Tell me later.
Okay, I'll just text you later. Which is a song.
We get the conversation in the hallways with Moraine talking to the sister. I forget her name randomly.
Emelisa.
One of you help me, Emily.
Emelisa.
That's weird. I thought that was right, and then I was like, "That's not right, you idiot. That's later." I wrote, "Your brother's an ass. Why were you in the ways? They must find Math Cawthon." tell the red Aja, and then I wrote, damn.
Yeah. Again, when we get to the spoiler part, I'm excited for this.
Well, again, but what are your non-spoiler comments here? Like, that's crazy. Like, so at this point, the red Aja to her has, like, once she helped them with the false dragon, Logain, but then at the same time, she got thrown under the bus by Leandrin in the hall of the tower, and then she gets, like, bitch slapped left and right verbally by Leandrin in the hallways, like, nonstop, and then she leaves, and she's like, my best chance of getting Matt Conklin back under wraps is Red Aja. Like, what? Send a note to the Blue Aja.
So it sounds like it's honestly, it doesn't. It's hard to separate.
Or is it like I don't know if he's the Dragon Reborn, and I just got to head it off at the pass in case he is, and she's literally sicking the Red Aja on him.
This isn't a spoiler, though, right? Like, the whole point is, like, Aes Sedai, like, there's been mention of this, like, of any stripe, right? Red, white, blue, whatever the fuck. Very patriotic, by the way. Well, in this country. Yellow. Like can all
brown, yellow, green. You know, the colors of
America.
Excrement.
But they can all of them. It doesn't have to just be red. Can and will, clearly, because what was there with Logain earlier? There was, Karenni, green. There were multiple Ajahs there. So you don't have to
green and reds.
You don't have to just stick the reds on it. You can also stick the blues. Okay. Again, it doesn't. This is one of those things that's, without really getting too much into it, doesn't make sense to me personally. Of why she would, unless it's a trap for the reds.
Okay.
It's not. This to me is rather nonsensical. Unless, again,
I think it's kind of just like I said. I think it's just kind of she doesn't genuinely know if he's the Dragon Reborn or not yet. But if there's a chance that he is, she needs him to get captured.
What about this? It is a test to see if someone else is spying on her. And therefore, she tells Lady Melissa to go to the Reds. We find out what other Ajahs find out. Blue, yellow, green, brown, white, gray.
I like that train of thought.
Taffy?
Leandrin already knows all about them.
Yeah.
And her and Moraine kind of got some kind of a weird understanding, but also Moraine's trying to protect the false argument between her and Swan, right?
Mm-hmm.
So,
okay.
And might have something to do with that. Like, she can't send it to the Blues. She's still trying to.
I actually really like that thought.
Like chess, kind of. Still, because she's Moraine, she's blue, she's awesome. But I think it has something to do with that. I think it's a little bit. She is a little bit fearful because she doesn't know about Matt. But I don't think that she knows he is. She knows that he has something, but that he needs to be protected and kept at the tower. And she knows they can't do anything to him if he can't channel.
Balzamon's argument, also known as Devil's Advocate. Would it not be smarter if Swan were to be the one to leak it to the Reds?
Well, she can't have any communication with Swan. They have to be on the outs. Like they have.
Unless she's got that framed picture in her backpack.
But I don't want to get into that. Also, that would be a glory hole. Like to the billionth fucking power. Like, Jesus Christ.
That's quite a glory hole you got there.
Yeah.
I think it's also a good painting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But anyway, back to the narrative here, because good Lord, it's already 9:45.
Yeah, but when they
we need to speed through the spoiler free. Yeah.
What did you say?
The Reds, I was like, I fully gasped.
Yeah, it was kind of shocking.
Then I started thinking about the possibility.
It did. So again, this is why I've got some. Spoiler part.
Moving on. I have a quick on the street. We're going to see Min. Perrin spots Fane, and then I wrote Nynaeve says, "Fane's dead, bro." And then I was like, "So were you?" I was like, they all thought she was murdered. Like, is it not logical that maybe someone else got away, but not just you? Like, why is she so sure he's dead? Because the only time they see him in episode 1 is him just going, and he turns and walks away. And you're just like,
Perfect.
I guess he's murdered.
I like that. That's the issue. It's not Fane should be 2,000 miles away, and we just took 1,000
Yes,
miles.
I know. They're like, Fane's dead. I'm like, all right, like, wouldn't it be weirder if you were just like, why would Fane be in Fall Dara, parent? Like, that's insane.
Yeah.
We just went through the waves. We just traversed thousands of miles.
Yeah, that's
It's
the bigger
impossible.
issue. Maybe I'm off my hinges, but I believe her.
Taffy, I'm just gonna sit still and quiet until you start talking.
I don't have much to say about that.
Okay, that's fine. That's fine.
That sounds like Forrest Gump. Isn't that a Forrest Gump line?
Oh, Joey.
Yeah.
My younger brother, Joey Bennington. Finally using your right name.
I mean,
About time.
I don't reveal it often, but it's there. We meet Min. I wrote, Rand's not a vegetarian. What do you see? Gold eyes, blood, a baby, white flame, a ring of gold. They're connected. And they go back to each other very simply.
So I love this entire bar scene. The actual beginning of it is funny as shit too. It is one of the very few, and this isn't really a spoiler. One of the things that I think the book.
Well, it
really,
shouldn't be. We're in the spoiler.
I know
TV show section of the show, John.
One of the things the books could improve on, though, is making them better friends after they leave the Two Rivers. And in this case, they're all sitting there at the table for a minute. And if you remember, Rand is.
Yeah, we have 5 seconds with them relaxed, and they're like right back to like kind of chuckling with each other and making fun of
Rand's
each other.
asking them like, they don't eat meat? Like, no chicken? No. Like,
what about fish? No fish. Yeah. Yeah, I like that. I thought it was fun.
Yeah, it's actually like, and they're laughing about it. It's kind of like, what the fuck do they eat? The answer, by the way, is ass. It's only ass. Hello, Sunmate wins. She just said men can get it.
Yes.
Also, Brando, Tom's not around to yell at y'all to keep it moving.
Oh, I'm not doing a. Okay, get moving! Come on, guys, let's move past.
Fuck you, Tom.
Oh yeah, I generally told Taffy to be like, you have to be an asshole, you have to be mean, you have to keep yelling at us.
Well,
then you have to get up every 20 minutes. Yeah.
I mean,
get up every 20 minutes.
I have to keep doing that part, and you guys are, taking a little too long. So I guess I should.
We really are taking too long, though. We got to roll through these scenes so we can get to the spoiler section. All right. Next, we have. Oh, that's them. Oh, that's the Min viewing. Sorry, my bad.
Yeah, so
that's just cool. I like it.
Yeah, the Min viewings are interesting. Perrin, yellow eyes, bloody chin. Obviously, John is needing some chick on the rag. I think that's what that means.
What?
Yellow eyes, blood on his chin. John. Well, I guess that would be John to say yellow eyes. This yellow skin. Huh? Maybe I was wrong.
We all know that, like code for sitting on someone's face is the Amerlin seat.
Yeah. I thought you'd go to bloody chin again. You got some issues.
Moraine says, "We live tomorrow. Make your choice." She sees the pattern. She's talking about men.
Oh yeah.
I don't want you to do what? Joe's notes make no sense.
All right. So back to the viewings. Rand.
I really just wrote, she's like, why are we back to the viewings? We're going forward.
Why? The viewings are actually relevant to what's actually happening here, right? Clearly they are things of the pattern. Whether or not we know that what they are 100% all viewers will be looking at. So Rand is with a baby. Presumably, it's not his. Well, like it didn't come out of him. Could be his, though.
I was going to say, what?
All true. You're right.
Again, we don't know what happens here. And then we have a white flame and a ring of gold for the ladies.
Which we don't actually see.
And we don't really know which one is which either. Like
Min is very cagey with like telling people, even a third party like Moraine, what's going on with the.
And the third partiness here of Moraine, I think, is very interesting. That Moraine's pretty much, she's very cold towards like men. Like, you would have been fucking murdered if it hadn't been for the Aes Sedai. Isn't that correct? And it's just kind of yeah. Anyway, and then they're all linked, sparks and shadows, and then for Moraine, the Amirlan in full regalia will be your downfall, which I assume is either like with the 7 stripe stole or lingerie.
Yeah, I agree.
Exactly.
It could be either
For
one.
sure.
Yeah.
For sure on that.
Those are the 2 options. Yeah.
That's the only thing I could think of too. You got it.
You know what? I enjoy thinking of it.
Rand was holding Jono's baby, says Dan.
Ooh. That kid, you know what? That wouldn't
Also,
have.
Taffy, apparently you need to channel your inner asshole Tom.
Oh. Okay, time to keep it moving. Come on, guys. This is stupid.
Oh, all right. Oh, fine. You slave driver.
Tom's channeling my inner asshole right now.
Where are we at? Let's move the fuck on. Oh, I read. Oh, yeah. We leave tomorrow. This whole discussion with Moraine, and then we have the little fallout argument with the Emmonsfield kids.
Interesting. You know, so obviously what we heard from Match and Chen is really dwelling in a lot of minds here. Well, presumably, although they were actually totally fine to have one drink. Maybe they just got drunk and then they're just angry. They're in their like kind of early to mid 20s. You'd think they'd be past that. But yeah, it's a real kind of depressing scene almost of just how quickly they unravel. And how it unravels, right? We've got a lovers 3-way, which should have gone better, but didn't.
Yeah, they're all in their late 20s. I mean, they should make it their beeswax to be at the eye of the world, you know.
Again, that'll kill me for the next 20 seconds.
Okay.
Another wet odd joke. Cheers, Yoey. Go on.
Oh, good. I just wrote like a. She's like forcing Rand's hand. I mean, like spoilers for the show that we're talking about, but Rand's the Dragon Reborn apparently. And this scene, like the second viewing of this scene, like has so much more weight to it for me because like Rand's saying weirder things that he wouldn't, and you could tell he's like, "Fuck, Machin is right." Like it has like he's playing it up like it's the thing with Egwene, but really he's like, "Fuck, I channeled." Did I channel? Fuck, I channeled. Like kind of thing. Like, and he's like, you can tell he's distancing himself. You can tell he's pushing them away, Rand style.
Oh, this is like maybe there's something that we should spend more time in the.
Sure, yeah.
But so to your point, right? So to begin with, Egwene's great, right? We have to protect each other, this kind of thing, and then Rand looks like the biggest dick ever. Briefly, like he's just kind of. He really kind of like I think that you're right there that he's realized that who he is and his duty, and the fact is that according to what Moraine has said, literally one rides forth and gets the fuck back, as opposed to what happens in book 2. If he wants to think, if he thinks he's the Dragon Reborn, and it has to be trusted, to save his friends' lives, he has to be a dick. And he has to tell them to fuck off, pretty much.
Yeah.
They don't want to be with him.
I do love this, like, very high school bro fight between Perrin and Rand. I got a screenshot just for this. They get so close to each other. They're just like, they'll hit. It's so fucking good. Could you be more ridiculous?
Ridiculous.
They were teenage boys. I might believe it, but now it's stupid.
Yeah, now they're 25, not 17.
Yeah.
Spoiler for the books, they're younger. Yeah, but I still, it's a legitimate cockfight. Like on first blush. I would watch 2 Rivers 90210. Oh, although 90.
Guys, that's Beverly Hills 90210. I mean, that would 2 Rivers would have a totally different zip code. Come on.
It works.
It's a ridiculous statement.
I would watch the shit out of that. Like that'd be so fucking fun.
What do I have here? Oh,
what is the intellectual property for making that? Right? Like of just like that's a fascinating question. We should call Harriet and Steve. We need to get Steve on the phone.
Steve.
Yes.
I haven't seen him for a while.
Quick spoiler.
Yeah, let's just Harriet owns the books, so she can just take characters from the books and just make a different show called
Steve's the license.
Rivers 90210.
Here comes Jordan Con and loves us. So there we go.
Oh yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
So what's your decision? Egwene argues for their families to go. It's like the reason that they're doing this at all is because they're trying to save their families and everyone.
Yeah, I think it's very poignant. It's a great thing that she says, and she puts it like Nynaeve's face really into it. It just says,
I think Nynaeve saying you take everything she says as fact is a pretty solid counter argument to that. Like you're just following every fucking thing she's saying.
Can you afford to be wrong is always the biggest issue.
Yes, exactly. And Egwene says that, points it out. That part I agree. Like when she's like, if there's even a chance she's right, we have to do it. And he's like, and she even says like, if she wasn't involved and you were just the wisdom making this decision, your decision would already be made. And I was like, you nailed her ass.
Yeah. Yeah.
Is it bad that I like Egwene so much better in the show? Especially by this point.
No, not at all.
I don't think it's bad.
No, I think this is actually very sensitive. I honestly, I love how they've done a lot of Egwene in the show so far.
Yeah.
And Egwene and Rand. Like, I like it's a little bit, even though the actors themselves are aged up, certain parts seem to be kind of in that 17, 18-year-old window, just how often they fight, how often this, but they keep coming back to each other's beds. That's cool.
Guys, they're from a small town. Two Rivers downtown. I don't know if you knew that. But there's a lot of drama there, but it's it's just within like a certain spectrum of high school age stuff. Shenanigans.
Man, we should just get blasted and talk about this all day.
I mean, Two Rivers 90210. That's a good idea. All right, we get a quick like you gave them a choice. That's all they need, kind of thing. They'll make the right decision from Lan and her, and Moraine. And I think mainly the point here is that Moraine's kind of going like, I don't know. She's weirdly reminiscing, and he's like, "You're acting weird." And then, like, it's almost as if she knew one of them was going to like step forward, the kind of thing.
Yeah, of course.
I'm sorry. Go on, Tappy.
Of course she did.
Well, yeah, that's why she gave them a little bit of
Monica
advice after they left the ways, but not too much. Enough to leave them settled, but enough to kind of put their brains.
Maybe she did suspect that one of them knew what was really going on, and maybe her going like, if we all go, the one of you or the three of you that's not the Dragon Reborn is going to get ground to dust between two forces of nature. I mean, like, she's really forcing the hand of whoever the Dragon Reborn may be.
Maybe she doesn't recommend suicide.
Well, she knows they're all committed to each other, so whoever figures out. Like when Rand figures out, he comes forward. He's like, "Let's go," because I want to save everybody else. Like, I don't want them to die. And
let's not forget the overarching theme here is that the wheel weaves as the wheel wills, right? And therefore, presumably, unless this is the worst retelling of the wheel, things are going to work out, and therefore, presumably, the right
work out.
Work out. And therefore, presumably, the right person will step forward and say,
"Yeah,
oh, hey, man, it's this guy. Merry Christmas." Again, that's kind of lazy screenwriting to a certain extent, but at the same time, that is really one of the best things that Robert Jordan ever did was to just put Deus Ex Machina into every piece of his writing, canonically, brilliantly. So it's kind of fascinating.
Fascinating.
You have to drink for fascinating.
Oh, it's fascinating, Jono.
Fascinating. I gotta get another beer, by the way. I'll wait.
Lan visits his family. Nynaeve follows. Lan Batmans. Those are my notes.
What
do you guys think about this family scene?
Finally.
Yes, finally, he's Batman.
Yeah.
I was upset.
Should have been doing that the whole fucking time.
Zahir wasn't Bukaki. Do you remember? Like, that's the dude who was
Bukake?
Yeah,
I know. I remember him.
Very disappointed. Who the fuck's Zahir? Bukaki. But everything else, though.
Did Beach just upsell this? Did he make it better?
Awesome. So I've never seen Riverdale. It's
it's not Riversdale.
Yeah. I've never seen it.
Jono, it's a play on words.
I've never played with words. But every time I come back from soccer, my blow-up doll has just watched an episode of Riverdale. Because she wakes up at like 11, and I get home around like 12:30. Like that.
That's awesome.
So she watched one episode usually. What, Taffy?
She deserves that, sleeping in and then relaxing and
Yeah,
watching.
she does deserve that, Jono. Why are you yelling at your blow-up doll?
I don't yell at her.
You're the worst.
Not in that
You're a
case.
horrible husband.
You
She
should
deserves to
bring
sleep in
her
while you go
pastries.
jerk off on the field with other men. So Nanive and
like
Lan in the
that
hallway.
line.
I like your family, and then I wrote awkward goodbye kiss.
This, by the way, is a perfect picture, Joe. Well done.
Yeah,
well done. That looks like a couple that like he just slid
I
his arm.
contemplated
up.
getting a shot of just Lan closing the door with like over Nanive's shoulder, but yeah, I thought both of them in the shot was better.
nice.
Just all right. Well, I guess we should make out, and then Lan's like, "Good night."
Good night, Kevin.
It was the greatest ending to the weirdest date ever. First, I follow you to your family's house. Then I invite you in like Batman to come hang out with my family. Then I
And
reveal
then?
how soft, like naturedly I am with my young cousins or whoever they are. And then,
Young-
and then,
Whatever, he keeps looking at it every time he sits.
and then he's like, "All right, well, had fun tonight.
Yeah.
Good night."
What, Taffy?
Well, no, it's just what Joe was saying. Every time, like, he would make the girl laugh and he'd look to make sure Nynaeve was watching him. Like,
Yeah, he's like, he knows.
this kid
Taffy knows.
Don't you think that's hot?
See this 8-year-old? I can make her laugh.
He's
You
like,
know what I mean?
he's like, oh, I hadn't noticed. Like, he's like, totally. Yeah.
See this 8-year-old? She's excited to see me. You know what I mean?
Mm.
What's going on with Lance?
Oh, man. That was a
Yeah.
good look, Jono. Do you use that on your wife blow up doll?
He doesn't have to because she doesn't have actual eyes.
What I have to do is this.
Her eyes are like this. So stupid. Just stand there.
All right, let's. Guys, God damn it, Tom. Tell me
Dude,
when to
you really
move
have
on.
to get it.
Come on,
Easy.
guys, keep back.
We're gonna have no time for spoiler
Come on
discussion.
to the spoiler section.
I have nothing to do. Yeah.
All right,
Yeah.
Lan
get
and
them
Nanae,
titties.
fuck. Do you want me to go? ? And I wrote good move. No dude is going to say yes to that. And that's all I got.
What if he said go pee pee? Ends up it was just a piss fetish.
Why would he say that?
Do you want me to go pee pee? It's just into that little golden shower guy. Yeah.
And then she's like, I'm not into that. I'm into all the scars and the BDSM, but
It's a little public private thing. Like she's got to do what he says. So
Oh yeah. That's true.
Oh, shit.
Spoiler.
maybe when she wasn't braiding her hair afterwards, she was soaking all the piss out of it.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
I do wish there was just like some.
Oh my god.
I wish there's
Oh
just
my God.
one
I
dumb.
need a Taffy says horrible things overlay,
Yeah.
apparently.
Yeah.
I had no idea.
The next scene, she's just wiping cum out of the corner of her mouth when a queen sees her.
Jesus Christ.
Oh yeah, that was good. That was a good girlfriend.
Oh man. Thank you for killing me.
Anyway,
Anyway.
why do they all call you Daishan?
Oh yeah, so this is the Nynaeve tries to dip out of the walk of shame scene I wrote.
No, we should talk about the Daishan part real quickly. 'Cause
That's
it's a
in the
very
scene.
important- No, that's the walk of
Yeah,
shame.
she goes, "What does Daishan mean or Daishan mean?" And he explains it while he's laying in bed all seductively.
Is that the same? I guess that is the same part. What do they call you?
I know what I'm doing, John. It's almost like I know how to keep the. Yes, you need more scarring. You need more Batman scars and more muscle. To be honest.
That was really good.
You know, I
we
mean,
get
that's
the story
ridiculous.
about like how Lan escaped Malkir, and I really like how Nynaeve's like, "Oh, I get it now. I understand why you're with Moraine." And he's like, "What do you mean?" And she's like, "Well, you lost all this shit, and she accepted you. So
Ouch.
you're like a little baby boy that needs a mommy. I get it."
Yeah. And you've been breastfeeding off her for 20 years.
Yeah.
She still gets all mad. She's like, "But you still belong to her."
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, that was a little bit painful because I don't think that's really fair. Like once you know a little bit more about that relationship and what all she's been trying to do, because honestly, and we see it here, right? I mean, clearly, it's obvious that Moraine has been trying to save the world for 2 decades. Hence why she's been running around trying to find the Dragon Reborn. So Nynaeve's kind of just like, oh, you're there just because, why not? Not quite what she says, but realistically, of all the battles that have been going on, this is the most important battle of all time. And I think that's one of the things that I find the most poignant, right? Like what Lan actually could have been is a dude who's just a avenging dumb fuck on the back of a horse who will eventually die. And he'd die very well. But what he turned into is, one of the most important people, right? If you're there to help, groom the Dragon Reborn, who's going to have amazing hair, and groom him, it is one of the most important fucking roles literally of all time.
And he does know that they're cramming 10 books of falling in love into 7 episodes too, right?
Yeah, that's gonna be one tight pussy.
Yeah, but he is very patient with her. Like he knows exactly, he understands that she's kind of young, but they feel strongly for each other. So that's why he's like, okay, but it's the same way that you love those kids, the same way I feel about her.
Right?
Yeah, actually, I kind of like that actually, because he's just like, it's the same shit with you. She doesn't own me, kind of thing. And I was like, that's a good way of putting that.
Very good parallel. In all honesty,
yeah.
I don't know what Erwin's talking about. Also, is this after dark? And then Brando said it's always after dark here, and that is absolutely true. Our name is tWoTcast. I mean, it's right there. It's right there.
Yeah, and my name is Tom. So
You're clearly new here.
Thing moving because you guys are taking forever. We need to get to the next section.
We really do. We really do.
So I guess let's finish this out. That's what
it's a Rand reveal.
Yeah.
What do I have here? Oh yeah. Oh wait. Is it Rand reveal? Why do I have this up?
Oh, why not? That's what Rand keeps saying too.
Rand reveal.
I mean, I don't. For some reason, I don't have this. Whatever, not important. Anyway, we get Rand reveal. It's Rand waking up in the middle of the night. That was a quick scene with Rand and Egwene. And he says basically, I'll be your warder. Everything's fine. And at this point, he obviously knows what's going on, and that's why I have that photo. I think
I will not be your warder, but yeah, good luck to us.
This is the best shot I could get of it, but he's carrying Tam through the woods.
I fucking love this. There was a Reddit Ask Me Anything with Rafe Judkins, and someone asked about.
I'll never I could barely contain myself when you pronounce his name that way. But go on.
Yeah, it's a lot of jokes. But there was one Ask Me Anything with him, and someone was like, "Why didn't you record this scene?" And his response was, "Didn't we?" And the fact that he said "didn't we" in the most flippant asshole way instantly made me go, yes, you did, you squirrely fuck. I love you for that. I clearly he could not wait to fuck with readers.
To reveal that this was going to happen later. Yeah. Of course we did that scene, you assholes. We're making it a mystery for the audience.
It's so much fun to shit on some of the things, and maybe we should probably not delight on it. But the fact is, Rafe Judkins is a massive fan of the books. That's why I assume he's got to have maybe even dumber than we are as far as his excitement for this, right? Otherwise, you spend a lot of time on some shit that's, I guess, lucrative. But he has to have all the same thoughts that we do.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
So I'm sure he was like, this to me was.
What do you think about the reveal? Was it first of all, we've been talking about the door smashing scene, which I tried to get the best shot, not a great one, of him channeling to smash the door down, and I was like, I know it's channeling. Everyone's like, maybe it's ta'veren, and I'm like, come on.
No,
he's channeling, and they're not showing us.
In fairness, we have to be the dumbest people, and we know because we will put our hands up for.
True.
We will put our hands up for the plot or a theory that makes that little sense. But you know what? We get drunk and we just say, why not?
Spit it along, boys and lady.
So
I was speaking to myself as well.
Yeah.
Rand Rand visits men. What do you guys have to say about this amazing scene?
She's fingering that bottle pretty hard.
I'll take that as we'll come back to it in spoiler territory. I thought it was really cool though. It was a good confirmation that yes, he is the Dragon Reborn for the audience. So like it gave them that like, is he though? Kind of moment. And they're like, and Min's like, yes, you are. And got bad news for you. It's true. Kind of thing.
Yeah. For any watcher who hasn't read the books, A, good for you, and B, you should know that there were 8 billion. Well, I guess not. 7 million or whatever it is. Supposedly they sold about 100 million. So divide by 14, you got 7 million people who've read each book. There are about 7 million people melting
Study your
their
math. That's all I have to say there.
Yeah, you're welcome. There are about 7 million people melting their minds on the assumption that, like, if it's not red, it's this. If there's 5 dragons, it's this. We probably fed into that too, but on the assumption. But that would have changed a lot of things.
It's the only reason I've fed into anything concerning Rand not being the dragon is the sense of like, are they actually going to change that? Because they've changed a lot, and seemingly some of it was pointless changes. So like that was a genuine worry we had.
Well, it's also fun to kind of feed into it, right? It's like
sure,
yeah,
it's entertaining. I wasn't worried.
Yeah.
It's just for entertainment value. I wasn't worried.
Maybe I'm off my head, but I believe you.
So Egwene checks in on Nynaeve.
Let Taffy finish.
Sorry.
Remember when he asked Min, he's like, he's like, tell me I'm not the Dragon Reborn. She's like, you're not the Dragon Reborn.
Yeah.
Yes.
You had just watched Airplane with Leslie
That
Nielsen.
was so
Yeah.
Min. That was awesome. You dumb shit.
I really like, even though she knows that he's there for a specific reason, she's still just like fucking with him and just being like, you're not the Dragon Reborn. Does that make you happy? Get out. Like I was just like, oh, you're fantastic.
Off you fuck.
Yeah, we get so I'm just trying to cut through the end of this real quick.
Yeah,
but like Egwene checks on Nynaeve. I wrote, seems like an odd time to be ribbing her about where she was last night. Like you're literally about to go, presumably, to the Eye of the World, and if you're not the Dragon Reborn, die. And then she's like, where were you last night? Your bed's not slept in. Just like, this seems off. I don't know if you should be this cheery.
Why not? Fuck it. What did you do? She walked in on Rand's bed. Like,
maybe she was just really excited that Nynaeve fucked.
Yeah, the first time.
Taffy, what if it had been this? And she walked in on Lan's room. She wanted to talk to Lan about something, and Lan and Nynaeve had gone to the baths or something, and there was just wet spots everywhere. It was just some big old cum stain.
Barnyard in here.
Yeah, just that would have been
right, so we get Rand knocks on a door, Lan knocks on a door simultaneously. Turns out not to the same rooms, or it's the classic misdirect.
Yes.
Yeah.
So Rand and Moraine travel off to go into the Blight and to the
they walk.
World.
They don't travel.
The 6 minute hike.
Yeah, 6 minutes. It's very far away. No, that's like look how far away that is, Taffy. It's like at least 2 hours. It's very far away.
It is.
I hate what the Blight looks like.
Okay.
That's later.
That's just the edge of it. That's like where the forest melts.
It's the edge. It's the edge of
the
Blight.
No, it's just in general. It's not a spoiler.
That's fine.
Yeah.
Okay.
I just don't want to go there.
You know what?
Yeah, you won't explain why, because that would be a spoiler.
Okay.
No, I just think that I wouldn't want to go there. I hate it. Like that doesn't look fun to me. Yeah.
You guys ready to give this episode a particular amount of Billy Zanes from 1 to 10?
I am. Taffy, you get to go first.
It's ratings.
Oh, can you put me at the bottom? Joe, can you put me at the bottom, please?
No, I'm at the bottom.
Oh, well, now I'm getting conflicting. I'm getting conflicts.
Yep, leave it to Taffy. Leave it to Taffy. All right.
Seven. As your head floats past.
You gave us seven Billy Zanes?
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, 7.
Yeah.
7 Billy Zanes. Okay. All right.
I'm at 8.5 Billy Zanes.
Okay. Oh, are you trying to get there? I don't know how you would do it.
You gonna do it
Um,
for you?
how are you gonna get to
Yay!
8.5, Taffy? Oh, pretend she's there.
At 8.5.
It's 8.5 Billy Zane for me. This was redemption for the last 2 episodes. It's not
Yeah, I actually give it 9 out of 10 Billy Zanes, guys.
Well, fuck yeah.
I
Well,
like
your
it.
circle of 10. That's
I
okay.
don't like the whole Perrin getting mad and you still leave her alone. He's like, oh, it's so stupid.
I only loved one woman, and it was
Yeah.
my wife.
I can understand.
The worst part is I keep looking over because the door's open to see if my wife's not pissed. My wife, and she's dead. Obviously, she's in a plane.
Yeah, and she's a blow-up doll, so it's not like she's opening doors.
Well, yeah, she got stuck in the propeller. Just, I guess they don't have
So
propellers.
Brandon says also 8 out of 5. Keith says 9. Dom says 8. 8 Billy Zanes.
I also
Alright.
didn't like the whole Lan not like sensing the Trolloc and or even hearing Padme.
Well, hold on.
That
Hold on.
What are you holding on?
That's a spoiler.
everybody like
It's not really a spoiler.
I was
Noticed
trying to
that.
say it earlier.
That being said, we are going to move into spoiler territory, but before we do, we're going to play an amazing Taffy Bennington song.
No.
Take a break for a minute. No?
Oh no. No, please. Okay. Yes, my lord. Go ahead, play it.
Wait,
Go
what? You're so silly. We're just going to play some hotel, convention dance party.
Everyone,
We'll
you
be
know I
back in a
have
minute.
like 17 videos. People are gonna get sick of that.
I know. I need to wait. Should we play Butterflies Taste Like Butter and Flies?
Do
I think I did
Pontivost.
that last time.
Do Pontivost. Or don't make me hit you.
Dude.
All right. Well, then now we need. All right. Don't make me. Well, then you guys need to talk for a minute then.
Donna, this next song is dedicated to you.
You're doing good. Keep going.
This next shot, Taffy, is dedicated to
Got
you.
places like what? Oh, would you like a cherry? I didn't want to
Cherry
use
bomb?
time, so I've got tiny tongs.
Tiny paw. Oh, guess what I have? Tiny penis.
Oh, I could get your tiny penis with these.
Ow!
Look.
Ah! Click, go. Delicious things to eat.
Wait,
The
let's
small
do
penis
should we do
can't eat.
Pantyvast.
Here to go pee.
What about Pantyvast? Wait, what did you want, Taffy? What should we play?
Pontivost, yeah, that one's fun.
All right, we'll watch Pantyvast.
Ow. I was trying to text my wife there before she took off, but fuck her.
She took off into the air.
Yeah, that's how that works.
Like this.
All right, we'll be right back with spoilers.
I gotta
Spoilers for the
get
books
a couple
and the
beers,
TV
yeah.
show.
Everybody go tinkle.
Go pee pee, Yoey. Go pee pee, Yoey.
Okay.
Weirdest insight to our lives.
Oh my god.
Joe, you haven't muted us yet.
It's fine. It's better like this.
Just quiet.
It's better.
Oh, hey, Taffy.
Hey.
Jono's not back yet. That son of a bitch.
He's trying to get his wife from out of the stratosphere.
Oh, he
With
should
a
probably
wet-
put less helium in
He
there.
got in a weather balloon.
We had
Followed
a
her
few more.
pattern.
We had a few more ratings. Definitely 9 at least. 8 to 9 Zanes.
Yeah.
You know, pretty solid.
Yeah.
All right, we're getting into book spoiler territory and the TV show. So if you haven't watched the books, get the fuck out.
Yeah, get
Get the hell out of here.
You nosy little perverts. Couple of standout moments for me for this episode is every time they showed Rand channeling when we didn't know that he was actually doing it earlier. Also, that one in the ways that actually did catch me by surprise. I was like, good fucking call, that because like you're watching for it at any time, and for some reason because it swirled around her, like she put her arm up and it like swirled around.
Yeah,
It was also
They did a really good job, and she was like, I didn't mean to channel, I'm sorry, like kind of thing. Like they did a really good job like playing that off real fast, even though they were about to reveal it 5 seconds later.
Yeah, that was cool.
Also, I wrote land improvements, battle scars, and Batman moves.
yeah. He's coming in
better.
better.
Yeah.
So let me tell you the thing that stuck out the most to me, and I wish I said it earlier.
Mm-hmm.
There's only one more fucking episode of this for this year or for this season. For the next at least 8 months, right? I know that they're pretty far down shooting season 2. Look, it's an imperfect beast, but the fact that this exists again, it's every fucking time for me. I fucking love it. It's been Christmas every fucking week. Just talking about this shit, whether I hated it, episodes 5 and 6, or loved it, most of the rest. Like it's been fun as fuck, man. I'm really excited, love it, and I hate the fact that I've got to wait at least 10 months. Like it's the epitome of blue balls, with the exception of the fact that that's a horrible usage of the word epitome.
Agreed.
Yeah,
You're bad at your job.
literally, not literally. But that sucks. I kind of, I've been watching this show every time twice a week, right? When it first comes out, and then before we record. And
Okay, yeah.
So let's get drunk and just pretend like we just started watching episode 1. Just get fucked up and restart.
Right now?
All right.
Okay.
Tomorrow or right now? Okay.
No, Egghead, tomorrow. Of course not. It's my current favorite Home Alone quote.
And that'll change momentarily when you watch it for the 17th time tomorrow.
All right, let's start getting into this shit. Spoiler for the TV show and books. Also, I can't see Taffy. What is your name right now? I can't see it. It's behind.
My name is Spoilers.
Oh,
Hi, I'm Spoilers. Hi.
Oh, it's Taffy Bennington.
Oh, it's Taffy Bennington. Oh, now it's spoilers.
Spoilers.
Wait.
All right.
His name has always been Spoilers. You know that.
Yeah.
So, actual spoiler. I love this. The only problem is, I don't think Shail / Tigraine.
Actual spoiler. I love this.
Good of a fighter. She should not be as good of a fighter.
Really?
She joined the Maidens of Spear late. They laughed at her for years. Like it took a long time. And yes, she eventually became a competent warrior. But a competent warrior shouldn't be able to take what presumably are Illianer companions, not just like regular fighters. This should be the strongest of the strong. That's why Tam is there with his Herrenbark dome.
No, Tam's there, as he said, because I was so hot. It was so hot, Carrie. I walked up into the snow.
Yeah, sexually.
Yeah. He's not there because he's with those dudes. He's not there because they're on his level. He's there because he was trying to get out of the battle because he was freaking out.
Jono, can you do that again? I missed it. Oh, okay. Thank you.
Worst
Very
part
nice.
is I'm actually rubbing
Good.
my
She's
dick.
she's
Ah!
Karen here. So she's she got lucky too.
Yeah, yeah. No,
All right, let's take a look at young Tam here. What do you think about his
he looked
his
awful.
9Bs?
I love the 9Bs though.
No, it's cool. I liked it.
Yeah.
I thought they looked pretty badass.
I think they've done some very good job incorporating the smallest pieces of lore, which probably are the most useful, of having the 9Bs on things. I forget there was an episode or two ago where they had like a very faithful kind of like amount of yeah. Two Rivers Badger says had to dip his hot parts in the snow. It's just like, of course, in Home Alone when Joe Pesci both has his head and hand on fire and has to dip his hot parts in the snow.
It's just
I
like
remember
that.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Tam's got a heron brand on his sword.
That is Rand later on.
When that happens to Rand, don't you want him to be like and then run down the stairs to the snow?
He's just looking at it crackling in the fucking snow.
Sorry, we're giant weird fans of Home Alone on the show. For everyone that doesn't know.
What? What? That's it. I'm out of here.
Anyway, let's talk about Tigraine. And I thought she was fucking amazeballs. Jono says she fought too well.
She's almost
weird.
Again,
Weird
I've never
power
thrown
play.
anything out of me. I don't know.
I
But
think it's because she had the baby Tavares in her belly. She had the baby dragon in her belly, and it brought her luck. It brought her the pattern. Was like working on, you know.
I just wrote if she's this good, how good is a real maiden?
Yeah,
better.
Well, clearly she's not a real maiden because she's got a come inside her earlier.
It's so stupid.
So dumb.
Not definition.
No, it's already baked. It's not sloshing around or anything.
Well, you know what? She's really putting.
I mean, it's going to come out, Jono.
Yeah, she's putting some. Well, she's still not a maiden, but she is definitely signing her name to the Battle of the Blood Snow by just really just letting this dip out. Just just really, just excessively so.
I don't know.
Thank you.
When Tam put his hands out to grab her arms and like she grabbed his hands, I was all like,
yeah, that was a really awesome moment. I liked it a lot.
And then when she like stabbed that one dude and she slowly jams it in his breastplate, and I was all whoa, because it was like cool gore, you know. And then I was like, this is bitchin'. And then like there was that when he has started to help her, and she's like relieved, like I just thought I was gonna die after that.
No, it's a fucking cool, like the franticness that she's going through, like is plain on her face, right? I mean, it's like she's doing a great job of like really kind of like just looking insane, and understandably so. What did Brando just say? Because I
Young Tam does kind of look like he just got done filming a 70s porno. Can't disagree.
Yeah, and there's white stuff all around too. In the 70s, they had some good shots of cum.
And Aiel this is Kerwi. And Aiel should take 3 to 4 wetlanders at least. She only did like 2 more than expected. It was mama pregnancy hormone enhanced. Oh yeah, she's trying to save her baby, Jono. She's got crazy hormones going through her body. She could have flipped a fucking car over if she needed to.
I mean, you know what? I'll take it. I was a little kind of, you would have thought they were handicapped the other way around, being.
She only killed 6 people. I mean, like, I know it's like 6 possibly well-trained soldiers. I'm just saying, like, it's
Joe should be an attorney for a murderer. He only killed.
Was it manslaughter?
Taking a break too. Maybe those were like the slack-off soldiers because
those are the dickheads. And then Tam got there and he's like, I could kill you right now, but I'll hold your hands instead. Because he's a gentleman.
Yeah. But yeah, it's this scene and the scenes that later tie it all together.
Yeah.
The
later on scene was cool. Yeah.
It's fucking awesome. The fact that we had to wait 7 episodes, I'm fine.
I actually really like the cold open cutting at that moment,
well,
and then not
cold,
coming
snowy.
back around to like when Rand like when Rand's having the realization and it's like the Rand reveal time, or he's talking to Min, like it shows the rest of that scene, and Tam's like, I'm not gonna kill you, I'm gonna hold your hands. And like that was fucking awesome as shit. Like they could have just shown all that at once, and you still wouldn't really have known if Tam hadn't taken off his helmet. They could have left it anonymous. But like oh, a soldier and a baby, like that's all we know. But it was really cool that they did that. Like
instead of a Rand montage, would be like a Rantage.
Yeah, that for sure, Rantage.
A Rantage.
But it's on a mountain, so it is a montage.
And he's remembering, like, all tying.
It's a Rand Dragon Montage.
Dragon Montage. Oh, Dragon Montage. I like that. So then we go.
Rantage is better.
The ways.
Yeah. All I literally wrote is ways book comparison time.
It's
like,
a love and hate.
Let's talk about it.
It's a love and hate.
I don't know. I don't feel like Machin Chin was like as scary as it should have been. And then also, I wanted it to also say shit like, I'm going to rip the flesh from your bones.
Yeah.
Like, just sprinkle it in. Just sprinkle it in. It's not a hard thing.
I was
also reading their minds and saying dark shit and creepy
hard.
things, but also just be like, also, I'm going to murder you. You know, like, that's it.
Taffy, go.
No, I totally agree with Joe. Like, it was lacking the horror element. Oh,
yeah,
and
never agree with Joe.
Did you say anything?
No, just never agree with Joe.
Oh,
I didn't say
okay.
anything.
Joe was wrong, and like I don't know what he said. I wasn't listening, but it wasn't scary enough.
So Taffy's 100% correct. Joe is wrong, and everything you said was also correct. Because I do feel like the thing that's missing, and I kind of mentioned it earlier, and I'm on a different drunken escapade now, is
obviously.
I love it very much is in keeping with like today's kind of like, I hate saying it because it sounds so trite, right? Like mental health kind of thoughts, right? That like you can be undermined by thoughts that's not just bloody fucking murder, but just like you're a piece of shit, Joe. Like, am I a piece of shit? I definitely am. I'm a piece of shit. But
I'm gonna rip your asshole out through your throat, and I'm gonna shove it through your eyeballs like I'm threading like a piece of.
Maybe that's the thread they were trying to like go with though. Like,
but if you
what
take
could they say that is actually like people have different levels of what they find disturbing. Like maybe they're just like, listen, let's not even try. It's ridiculous. Like maybe we'd go too far for most people. Maybe we wouldn't go far enough for some people.
Right.
I think
maybe that's what it was.
The point should have been though, to me, is to marry those two constant, like to marry those two ideas of like, hey, like, because, the wind telling you is going to cut you up in half. Like, all right, it's the wind. Unless it literally fucking does that, I don't care, right? But if the wind starts telling you, you're a fucking, like, whatever it is you want to, be mentally ground down by, followed by you should cut yourself, right?
Yeah.
Like, and then I will be here to, like, all of a sudden you've got a two-pronged strategy that's mental, physical health, and really, like, and I hate saying that. I sound like, but like all of a sudden, like there's a real tie-in from the books and from kind of a little more, and Arian, Machin Shin's like a really harsh therapist. So if you put those two ideals together, though, that's a fucked up thing for anyone, just in general, right? Like to be telling you the truth you know about yourself, right? Like Rand, like Nynaeve, all these people who have shit going on.
Well, again, the flash forward or flashback later on in the episode of Rand like hearing more and it going like, "You've always known, it's always been you," like kind of thing, and he's like, "Fuck, I have," like kind of thing. Like that was kind of cool, but at the same time, like
it was. And but
also,
again,
you could have said like, "Also, I'm going to rip the flesh from your bones."
Yeah,
maybe.
But what if I say you're the Dragon Reborn, Joe? You're the Dragon Reborn, and you're gonna fucking fail. You're gonna have your bones like your flesh scoured from your bones because you're not strong enough. You take the two pieces that and then you scour the fucking dick off your skin off your dick. There we go.
What about the actual look of the ways? Like, what did you guys think?
Moderate. I liked parts of it, but again, how do you have things growing there other than the idea that it just dropped off? We're only at a third of the fucking...
It almost made it seem more like planter ledges, like flower beds or flower boxes.
Like the railroad ties that people used to make along the edge of their backyard.
Yeah.
I
thought it looked kind of cool.
It didn't,
yeah.
Stonework, right?
I
No, I
like
agree,
that
Ted.
it was like modular, so to speak, like as if they were grown with the one power. Like, oh, we need another 17 hexes here to get to wherever. Like
Superman
just the idea of like, send me another 17 bricks. You know, like we'll get to the next place. But
All right,
like,
two
I don't know.
things.
The idea, like, I also did like the change that they like lit it up with lightning in the back. It was like, and you're like, okay,
Yeah.
I do kind of want to see it every once in a while, though, for
Uh,
sure. It would have
so
been
two
really
things real
boring,
quick.
John, if they were just like moving through blackness the whole time.
Well, yeah. So two things. One, you talked over Taffy, which is an unforgivable sin. Two,
No, I was talking over him.
don't talk over me. That's also an unforgivable sin. But then secondly, I apologize for even being sober enough to notice that, and I'm going to go to the shot.
Good. Taffy, what do you have to say? What do you think about the ways? Physically.
It was short. It looked different, but I'm okay with
Yes.
it. I did
Now you're talking
like
about my
Yes.
penis.
flashes, and because at this point I've been conditioned that things are going to be looking different sometimes, and I'm okay with it and enjoying sometimes something looking different than how I pictured it.
You sound like the ideal woman to date. It's short, but I'm okay with it. I'm
Text my
allowing it.
John, she's married
Text him.
to Otto Bennington.
He's
I'm
probably
going to text
texting me by now.
Otto in a little bit. Yeah.
Oh,
Um,
I texted Otto to let him know that I was going to be filling in, covering
yeah.
for a friend while Tom is
And then he said, "How dare you?"
in
Yeah.
the Bermuda Triangle.
Yeah. Well, I'm going to text Otto and let him know he can fill in me or fill me in.
Well,
Just
he said
For our viewers that don't know, Otto Bennington is Taffy's husband, and also he's the grumpiest grumpy man that's ever existed, more than Tom, I think. He's the
We're very
grumpiest
similar
grumpy
men.
of grumpy people.
No, I don't know.
No,
Maybe it's just because
all
when
right.
he's with me,
We all love Otto.
yeah, Otto's never grumpy with me.
So we're getting some ways comments, just a bit more labyrinthine. I agree. Like there was one shot when like the lightning struck and they were like walking over an arc of some kind, and you
Covenant.
could see like more bridges in the background. And I was
Yeah.
like, oh, okay. You can see like
There's
them,
one.
but I wanted more of like they reach a center point, and then there's like 17 branches, and then they have to pick one. Like when they got to the post that Loyal was like, I don't know, give me a minute, I have to study this. There didn't seem to be any other ways to go. So I was like, okay, maybe I missed it. Maybe it was dark.
Right.
Kids are scared of the dark, you know?
Yeah.
So like, I don't know. Like maybe
I would have liked an extra minute.
Yeah.
Like to make it feel like they were actually there, like they needed to rest. Why do you need to rest? You've been walking for like 30 seconds.
Like, to me, one of the creepiest things the entire ways is the time that, and I forget who it is, Matt or Rand maybe, puts a foot on one of the bridges.
Yeah.
And it fucking dissolves. And all they can do is look over and say, oh! And
yeah.
And they have to.
There was a little too many walls around them. Like the stones on the edges like came up too much, and I was like, "That's
unless you're telling me
almost."
They actually, instead of falling downwards, they fall upwards, and all that.
Like
means
it would have
that
been great
everything
if like Perrin rested his elbow on one of those posts and was like, "What? Oh shit!" You know, like for like a second.
Joe.
Yeah, because
It's no post.
tall, like one of the tall ones.
Yeah,
just one of the tall ones, just been like, "Oh shit," and it just like broke off or something. Just a little bit more. Also, we're getting lots of Loyal comments. I wanted Loyal to talk more in the ways.
Yeah.
More in the ways. It feels like they traveled for a total of 60 yards.
It was.
I heard there was a glimpse of Fane in the ways. I think I caught that. It was after the Trolloc attack. I think it's like right after the Trolloc attack. Like you can see him for like 2 seconds.
And
by 2 seconds, I mean like 2 milliseconds.
There's a few things in the ways though that are perfect callbacks to the show, right? Or it's the books, not the.
Again, 2 milliseconds. It was a lightning flash.
Yeah, like Lan going like, "There's someone following us," and there's pieces of like kind of what this used to be. Like you mentioned, Taffy, like hey, the ways used to be like this. Well, looking at that, again. How the fuck was there fruit trees growing here? Unless these fruit trees are like shrubs, right? It
was more vast, Jono. What do you not get?
Well, that's what I'm thinking.
Move past this point.
Those jagged, the structures are pathways, and then off of where the darkness was. Maybe
Oh yeah,
Those
maybe like
digressions.
big chunks of land broke off. Yeah,
in the orchard groves and stuff.
and they're still currently falling through infinity.
Yeah. Just an apple.
So
just falling-
so
persimmon.
talking about Loyal, I have to say, yes, I want more, but at the same time, he's crushing the tiny bits that he's getting. Like every time he opens his mouth, I'm like, classic Loyal. You know, like the whole every time Loyal's doing anything, I'm like, perfect. You're doing it well.
I can't disagree.
So I can't complain. I do want more, but I can't complain about Loyal in any way.
Taffy, you tell me your thoughts, because obviously you haven't been on this like for us to talk. I still think visually he looks at best like a dude. I honestly think that Paul Bialczyk could do a better version of Loyal for Jordan Con next year. Like
You're talking about like the actual prosthetics.
Yeah, the actual prosthetics.
Yeah,
Paul Bialczyk could do better, but the actor himself, I think is phenomenal. I think that like he sounds right, he talks right, like everything he says is phenomenal. I feel like he's been hard done by a budget that will give $1 billion a year, not really, and then $8 towards your prosthetic. I feel hard done by for Loyal, personally. Taffy.
Well, he
Yes.
looks very different than I thought he might look.
You know, even in the animated short thing, real quick, the Ogier that was in the animated short thing had like pointed ears with like little tufts of hair coming out. I was like, why didn't they just do that?
Right. They didn't
Anyway,
have
continue.
to make his ears do it. Like they could even have had some kind of like a robotic setup where he could just push
Like twitching
something.
ears.
Yeah, I mean, just like a
Yeah, why don't you just like 1980s like Mogwai me and just have like a little bit of like, you know, like
we would have loved that
floppy ears.
practical effects, like robotic thing. We would have loved that shit.
Yeah, I would have eaten that
I have
shit
to
up.
assume they have a really good reason for making him not look at all. Maybe they wanted to make him more human or something, or
Also, like the whole joke in the books is that like, oh, you're an Ogier, but I think you're a Trolloc, and they did it in the show. But I'm like, why did he think that was a Trolloc? It's just
That's unfair.
like why? What? He's wearing a coat and trousers. Like he looks harmless. He doesn't have a weapon. He's not scary. Like he's just kind of large. Like
He
there's
looks
nothing
like honestly, he looks like just
weird.
what's his name? What'd you say?
Mogre.
Oh, you know,
Anyway, go on, Jonah.
no, but to your point though, like he just looks like he's 6'3" or 5, maybe.
yeah.
With a
Yeah, he doesn't look big enough. Like
with
even
bigger
that, just like
hair.
at least like Hagrid him up a little bit. You know, like at least just like
So
make him like 8,
I-
9
I-
feet tall, and I'd be happy.
at this point, I need a better fucking name for her because she's not real. But like we were watching some Harry Potter. Which
You
of
mean
course,
you were with your blow up doll?
That's a Wii, you cunt. We talked about the
Oh,
fact
yeah.
that's not a word we're going to use anymore, right?
Me and Jono and Tom had a long talk.
Which I
We're
won.
like, hey, listen, we've been live streaming, and Jono, there's one thing you can't say.
What kind?
Yeah, that's the one.
That's a
Cunt.
good word.
What did I
It's a
say?
great word.
Thank you.
It's a very good word.
I think I said it like when I did that when I was on your show like last year. I think I said that word probably 3 or 4 times for some
Thank you, Taffy. I also say it every night, on my show. But
Yeah, on your show. Yeah.
honestly, like, what they did for Hagrid was amazing. And if they had just, at this point, considering how like human-esque the ogre is supposed to be, because it doesn't seem like he's got a lot more like alien, and that's literally, I guess, not from this world features. Why not just make it fucking Hagrid? Just literally just do Hagrid at this point. Like,
I just don't understand why Rand mistook him for a Trolloc. Like the
it
resemblance
doesn't make
isn't there.
sense. It doesn't make sense. Oh, Daniel, I'm sorry. I please don't say that word. Which word? Hagrid. Right.
Oh yeah.
Hagrid. Don't say
That's
Hagrid.
awful.
Yeah. We'll do our best.
Everyone, Jono's from the UK, so they use that word very randomly there. He's not. It doesn't make it
I
better.
lurched forward to say something with a bad accent.
Brandon said the Ogier animated short was, by the way, was awesome, and
That's
it was good.
cool. Yeah.
I think
Good
we're gonna do the
animated
animated
short.
shorts. It's the little side things. Don't worry about it. Anyway, we talked about the ways. We talked about
worry
Mac
about
and
it.
Chin, but
Don't worry
do.
about it, Jono.
Don't worry about
it.
we'll talk about it later, Jono. Don't worry about that. We talked about the ways. We talked about Mac and Chin, but I do want to say, like, does the wind, like the way it senses the one power and then attacks them, like, does it want her to channel? Like, it's almost like egging her on. Like, is it like kind of like an Aelfin vibe going on there? Am I reading too much into that?
Let's think about what Match and Shin really is, though, right? Again, presumably, we don't really know.
Definitely have this up right now, by the way.
Well, I mean, we're already this far in, right? Match and Shin. Like the assumption here is Match and Shin is a byproduct of the ways having been made by male channelers after the breaking, right? Because the ways were not made until after the breaking, and therefore it was made by men who channeled tainted side in. So therefore, the kind of almost like structure for it was tainted. It took thousands of years, or I guess 2,500 or so, really, to kind of do, right? So I don't mind, because side-in can feel side-ar to a certain, not because it feels for, like, but it also, they don't mix. They do.
Right, okay.
They stay like kind of like, it's like oil and water.
Is it just because like the way the ways are in the book in the show? I mean, because you have to channel to open a gate. That's just like something that Black Wind can sense. So like it's like, oh, there's people to eat there, so I'm gonna go there. Is that all it is? I think that you're almost surrounded by male taint. A male taint is a fun sentence to say, by definition, right? Like, because it was created by men. Not necessarily it's all male, but at the same time, there is the slightest amount of taint sludge going through it. Let's see. Drab saying, Match and Shin trying to stun travelers, then turn them into the dust cloud of voices. Yes,
maybe.
but why can it sense the one power versus like?
I think it can sense the one power because it's made from the one power, right? So it's like it's kind of not self-aware because it's from different sides.
Yes, but as a show mechanism, they don't just like pick a leaf of a doorway. Like they have to use the one power. So like, are they like making
that's
that
bullshit.
slightly different?
Yeah, I think they fucked that up very much. It doesn't make any sense. And not only that, there are I haven't really seen where it came from necessarily, but there's videos of Peyton Fane just holding a leaf as he walks in and out of a gateway. So my expectation here is that they didn't do the worst job saying it, right? And I apologize for talking way too much. It's like sex.
You have been.
That's okay.
I have.
Agree.
But like the idea that you can only channel to get in, and you can't channel to get out. Like, right? You've kind of made this fairly smart way of just saying we can't go get Matt. We can't channel.
Yeah, no, that works. Yeah.
But they forget.
She's like, I can't just open the fucking door and let Matt in, or we can't open the door and just yell at him to be, hey, get in here, dummy.
But I feel like you can channel to get the fuck out and just say we'll wait 6 hours.
I don't know. It's been however long since it
It's
happened.
been, I guess, 1 week.
Oh, at least a week. Yeah.
Yeah.
Taffy, thoughts? Moving on.
No, I'm just shaking my head at that. That's it. No, you know what? Just don't dwell too much on the discrepancies of, channeling to open the. And I was almost hoping that Loyal would be like, well, you don't actually need to channel, and have Marina like, okay, we got to get going. Like, I was hoping that he would kind of clear it up that you don't actually need to channel. Like, you can access it by channeling or with the trefoil leaf, or you know what I mean. So
Yeah.
So Joey, Joe.
Well, speaking of Pat and Fane, though, like so far, and we kind of touched on it like a tiny bit earlier in the non-spoiler area, Taffy. But he should be very different at this point. Like, what do you guys think about him so far? And
did I just
versus
get
how he should be?
Oops.
Yeah, You said a spoiler and the
I'm so
non-spoiler.
bad. I'm such a bad person.
Who's a bad girl? Who's
Yeah,
a bad girl? It's Joe.
But seriously,
Really?
like, why not make him crazy? Like, why not make him dirty? Why isn't he a bum? Why isn't he covered in rags? Like, why
I
does
don't
he
care
look
about
like a
the
human?
When I
bumness.
saw him walk away from the way gate and he's just all like that, I was like,
Yeah.
okay.
I mean, I
cool.
like what they're doing, but at the same time, why are they changing it? And why isn't it just like how it is in the book? Like, why isn't he just this ragged, crazy person that's forced to follow behind Rand? Are they stretching that story arc out more? Like, is he going to
I
become
think the
that
opposite.
later?
No, so I don't like, and stop me because you guys are both on a. I don't hate this, right? Like, why not just compress the idea that he's become himself as we know him after book 2. He's now become Paid Fane or opposite, right? In fact, he's still just a very well-to-do, similar to the guys that we meet in the Waste, right? In books 4 and 5,
Right.
where he's one of the top dark friends, and so he does have the nods, right? He is one.
Oh
of the
no,
top
I love what he's doing. Taffy,
Yeah.
what do you think about it?
Well, maybe like because in the book he talks to Rand, like he sees him in the street and he's like, "Oh, I'm not gonna don't tell that bitch I was here," whatever. But like, okay, but maybe, but he doesn't really know Rand in this show, so maybe he'll when he runs into Matt, and maybe he'll get I think you guys have mentioned before, maybe getting the dagger from Matt. Maybe he'll start acting all fucked up after something like that.
Yeah, that's very possible. Yeah,
So it's
maybe
getting
that'll
to know him a little bit more, almost getting him to be more of a character just by having him be in.
So but based on what we've seen from the show alone,
show alone.
they barely escaped the ways. Show alone is what we call it when Rand's all by himself. Pat and Fane walked out of the ways, presumably relatively quickly after they left the ways, and he's just like la la la, and you're like, nothing coughing black shit into your hand, Matt style from the episode whatever. None of this oh, I took something away from that. That fucked me up a little bit, and I have to keep going. Why? I don't know. It just seems like they're kind of missing a few beats of this could be fucked up.
He's just good right now. He's just been bringing Trollocs to the Two Rivers, following them, and corrupt, scratching the posts and the ways, and he's hasn't been actually corrupted by madness at all yet.
So I have.
So Dana Lou said, did he pass Matt on his way into the Waygate?
So that's exactly the right question, Dana. That's why I've got a few thoughts here, right?
Is he a gray man?
We still don't know what the show is going to do with him, Brando says, which is how I prefer it. Wild card, bitches.
Yeah,
Charlie Payne.
Charlie.
That made me very happy, Brando. Thank you so much.
I guess the question is, right, has the Pain Fane we know in the books has already been through 2 ordeals. One being kind of sifted through and remixed by the Darkwind or Ishamanel.
Yeah.
And then secondly, having had that imprint on his brain and then going through Shadar Logoth. And the combination makes him fucking weird. And then eventually he wants the dagger. So that's kind of our assumption, and that's why he's both a beggar who wants the dagger, which I've already made a weird, portmanteau of. But that's not what's happening here necessarily. And I say necessarily because I don't know what happens earlier, right? In this case, we're on the assumption that, and that's kind of why I at this point I now kind of like the idea that he's a high-level dark friend, so he can kind of waltz past almost Match and Shin, which I also hate, because Match and Shin has been corrupted by the dark, and so has he, and therefore, whatever the fuck. That doesn't really fit with the narrative of, because, Trollocs are scared as fuck to walk through the ways, hence why they haven't used the ways for the last 1,000 years. But at the same time, make some allowances, right? There's too many things I don't know necessarily.
Okay, so Proto says Fane seems badass and put together. I think he'll end up being a Forsaken of some sort. Doubt we see Agenor and Balthamol die. I kind of agree with you. I think we're going to see Ishmael for the first time, probably.
We did see a number that was, I forget how many, and it didn't have to be all of them, right? When what's his dick was about to commit suicide, Stepan, right? When Stepan was
Yeah. Oh, when he was praying to the Forsaken.
yeah, but it
Which is
wasn't
weird.
Yeah.
You know
Anyway,
what? We really messed up by not having those figures available for Kwanzaa, Christmas, and Hanukkah.
Yeah. What about winter solstice?
And today for winter solstice. Today is solstice. Happy winter. Happy new solar.
Hey, happy winter,
year.
Wendy.
Make sure you burn your wishes tonight, everybody.
why do you think my
Put snacks out for the birds and the squirrels and everybody.
Yes.
I burned my witch tonight?
Wendy, I make sure my grass is winter grass so the deer can eat it.
Oh, that's so sweet.
Rand and Egwene break up. He knows what he's saying. I wrote. What do you guys think about that scene? When he's like, "I'm gonna be your warder," he knows at that point. He's known before that. Like he knows already. Like
Also,
him going
I'm
like,
going to be your warder. Is that sexual?
yeah, but he's putting words in her brain so he can be like, everything's gonna be okay. I'm actually the Dragon Reborn. I gotta go. You know, like that's like totally him, like and her separating.
Well,
I think.
So Wendy or Taffy, I'm sorry, I got your name wrong, 100%. Would you bond your husband so you could know what he feels sexually? And I'm texting him now.
You know what's weird? I'm okay with it, but seeing a queen actually give a shit about Rand so much.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm talking about you. Would you bond?
Shut the fuck up, Jono. When Taffy, continue.
You know what? I actually thought about that, Jono, and I was like, you know, a girl needs her secrets. So being bonded to your husband, you know, I have to support.
Yeah, mask the bond. Mask the bond.
I would be able to surprise him. So I would not know.
Do you remember what they
Is it
described
like the
the
Find
bond?
Friends app on your phone, and you're like, well, if I say yes to this, then she'll always know where I am, or you.
Oh.
And then you're like, well, if I go, I don't want my wife to know where I'm at. She's gonna be like, you're at a strip club, or you're buying me presents.
You know what? That was a long time ago that we got you guys to do that too, Joe. And you know, you need to stop talking about it because it cuts down a lot on the communication, doesn't it? You don't always have to get asked when you're coming home, right?
That's true. That's true.
Yeah.
Maybe I need more communication.
Oh, do you
I
miss
am at the strip club. You know, that kind of thing.
Oh, okay. Well, then I apologize for. Sorry.
It's all right.
So, are you saying? I think John was saying that he wants to bond my husband as a warder.
That's correct.
Yes, and to the best of my knowledge, masking the bond feels like you kind of put your fist in silk, and kind of like there's like a different sensation.
Moving on.
Like what? Like what? What kind of different?
Or not.
Is it like a cow popping out of a placenta? Like an Ace Ventura when he comes out of the rhino's ass.
By the way,
just squeezing out. Also, that movie stars the Emerald Seat.
You know, thank you. That's exactly right. Ace Ventura 2 also has the Emerald Seat.
So Brando has a genuinely interesting point here, even though he's crazy. He needed to hear Egwene say that she stand by him even if it's him. That's when Rand finally makes the choice to not let them die for him.
Yeah.
I kind of agree with that.
Well, it kind of like when they first come out of the ways, it makes it kind of seem like all he really heard was that Egwene doesn't really fucking love you. You love her more. But like that's not really what had him upset. Like that was the. I
think when he gets out of the ways, he's upset because he's made the realization because of Mac and Shin that like he is the Dragon Reborn, or at least he thinks he is. And then he goes through this process, and like the next few scenes, and I was just saying that about like the argument scene later, like that's him kind of going like, "Fuck you guys," you know, like kind of thing. Like I don't care if you come or not. I gotta go, you know, kind of thing.
Yeah. That's how I attract my wife. I don't care if you come or not.
But it's because he's like worried about being the Dragon Reborn, you know, like, and he doesn't want them to accompany him to the eye of the world. I was going to say come with him.
You're so stupid.
Johnny, you're slowing us down. We've been on this podcast for way too long.
I didn't do anything. I said nothing. So
He
yeah,
was starting to try to kind of push them away, even when like they were in the bar, or the tavern, or whatever.
we're giving it a kind of positive assumption here, right? That Rand is already starting to do that. Like Rand has kind of had the self-realization, sponsored by Match and Shin, which, by the way, worst sponsor you can have. Like next up, so like My Lungs, sponsored by whatever smoking company you want.
Yes.
Yeah, not a great sponsor, but still, he's trying his best, and so he's trying, right? He's trying to like kind of get that done, and that's a very real Rand.
I'm just saying, when you view those earlier scenes through the lens of like Rand has realized he is the Dragon Reborn, everything changes. Like the way he's acting and what he's saying,
and it also like I was perfectly willing to shit on a lot of things, and I've had a lot of fiber today, so I was ready for it. But in some cases, though, like when you look at it after you finish, all of a sudden, like these seem like very much like later Rand tendencies, right? Like of how unstable he is after he becomes the known Dragon Reborn. It doesn't bother me that he acts this way as much. It doesn't affect me as much. It still seems a little like, well, you're no longer an 18-year-old character. You're now 25 or so. So presumably you're better at your own emotions. But fuck it.
Good. She had it nailed when she knew that all it took was for all of them to truly believe that they would all die if they all went, and she knew it would force whoever it was to show.
By she, you mean Moraine?
Yes.
But yes, I agree. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I definitely think, like, looking back on that episode a second time, you can definitely see that, like, what Moraine is doing is putting them into a position to
have sex,
force the realization that one of them might be like, or to at least confront it within themselves. Like not necessarily like, I know for sure I'm the Dragon Reborn, I'm Rand al'Thor. Like, it's more of like, maybe one of them feels like it might be them, and maybe it will force their hand, kind of thing. And like, you know.
Yeah. Oh, maybe. Yeah. So I still hate the contrivedness of how they decided to go to the Eye of the World. And I'm still disappointed by the idea that the Eye of the World is supposedly where the dragons, or where the Dark One's prison is. But I liking the kind of evolution of certain pieces here.
Yeah, I agree.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, so that was just because like their knowledge is unreliable, what they were talking about.
Yeah. It's also totally valid point all the way.
Might be necessary for future episodes, I guess, to kind of remember.
You weren't actually supposed to pay attention to that.
I got pulled into that really well.
All right, well, let's get out of this. You guys are stuck in a giant hole.
We're just talking about Rand reveal time. That's the big part of the episode. Like, that's all we want to talk about. I mean, Tam in the woods.
No,
reveals actual shit, and then Min doing.
I was like, oh yeah. I was like, that's so awesome. They're doing this. They're really doing it. Like, as soon as they started showing the flashback,
there was definitely not enough. Like, another 30 seconds of that, please.
Yeah.
What? John,
I said another 30 seconds of that. Like, I just want like a little tiny bit more of Tam in the woods. Like, just
Yeah, I was joking about
like even if like Rand looked over his shoulder and saw like a midroll and like the Trollocs going by like he did in the books, like just like a little tiny bit more of like, holy fuck, he went through something.
Concept art. What if he looked over his shoulder and it was just your concept art for the
Yes.
What? This isn't yours.
I hear what you're saying, Taffy. That's why it was cut.
I'm sorry. I thought.
No, I loved. Like, I was delighted. Like, this is the second time there was something like 2 or 3 episodes ago where I briefly thought, and Joe and I talked about it. Like, we briefly thought that they're about to do the fever dream scene, and
Yeah.
it was the scene where parents fucking stringing up, I guess Layla probably something like that outside of Rand's place.
No,
And
I didn't even consider it then.
yeah.
You guys were wrong, obviously.
Oh,
I mean, clearly.
but this scene, this fever dream scene, was fucking. I don't like. It wasn't the best rendering of it, like you said. But at the same time, it was sufficient by far, and it really just kind of. It's one of the foundational scenes for this entire book series to me, right? Is Rand doubting himself so early for such a.
I don't think that can't continue though. Like I don't see this as like it's written in stone. I'm definitely it. Like he has plenty of room for doubt here. I don't know, Jono. I think you're kind of like you're reading into that too concretely, sort of thing. Like I think it still has room.
Soften my eyes.
Some of the great hunt. And some of the other like in the Dragon Reborn. I think some of that storyline can still.
What happened?
The Grey Cunt. The second
yeah,
book,
that's what did I say?
Grey Cunt.
That's one old bit.
What did I say?
Did you
I
want
said
it to
Grey
be
Hunt.
longer, like Joe? Were you hoping for it to be longer?
Yeah, just a little longer.
Like Joe wanted. He wanted a
Yeah,
little
Joe
more
wants a lot of
longer.
things.
Yeah.
longer and bigger. Well,
I mean, girth.
I can understand why
Girth could be there.
Well, I felt that way about the ways too. I liked the flashback. I thought that was, and it felt like it was enough there for me. I was happy to have it. I do feel like we really should have had a little, like another minute at least in the ways to feel like they'd actually traveled it. I feel like they really traveled.
It felt like we went through 4 scenes.
Yeah.
It felt like in Monty Python and the Holy Grail when they were like, scene 48 is a lovely scene. Scene 49 is we just watched like 3 different screens on a fucking video game.
Yeah.
And
Sorry,
it was
backtracked.
it's fine.
No,
Like,
it's fine.
it's also so modular.
We haven't been talking for 2 hours.
No,
It's fine.
and 11 minutes.
It's fine.
Well, what you guys were saying about that reminded me of like that. I understand what you're saying about
Taffy, I don't know what your plans are for tonight, but guess what my plans are for tonight? Literally this. So,
I don't.
yeah.
No, I'm good. I took care of everything earlier.
Oh
Is
yeah,
this
I
a
also
3-hour
took-
podcast?
Yeah. So one of the things that really stood out to me the most after we get out of the ways, that kind of thing, on second rewatch, it didn't bother me as much, but it still bothered me, was how Agomar interacted with Moraine. To me, one of the things that makes the Borderlanders so fascinating is their respectfulness for the most part. Like, again, and I guess we're taking the foot from the most part in very big quotations here, because Agomar was a dick to Moraine. He interrupted her. He had assumptions on why she was there. He refused her help, even though she never offered it. Like, there was a lot of things that just, on first blush, really pissed me off. On second attempt, still pissed me off, but not as much.
Okay. Yeah.
I found this to be, and where I'm going with this is, I'm all about the fact that this is an adaptation, right? This is not, and I think I've said adaptation before because I was drunk, but it's an adaptation of the books. Fine. Fuck yeah.
It's an adaptation?
Adaptation.
Let's adapt the show.
Fascinating. It's a fascinating version of it, right?
Fascinating.
Hold on. It is indeed a fascinating adaptation. And
Jono, I really love your commitment level.
I've got nothing else to do tonight. Weirdest thing I'm going to do. Probably gonna jerk off later. That's about it.
Do you think that was like what Joe was saying to give kind of an introduction to the distrust that most of the rulers have as far as assumptions with
you're talking about the Algamar thing?
and that they're always going to try to like run the show. But then I think he redeemed himself quickly and showed that Borderland
but it's
personaliness when he said, Oh, okay, yeah. What you're saying is right. Yeah, go fucking take care of that. Do what she said.
If Grima Wormtongue
Stop it, Jono. Stop it right now.
No, I'm
Stop
serious.
it.
I'm serious. What happens in this? Like, we're in the spoiler part, right? If we find out
Yeah.
that not Emelisa herself, right? Because Emelisa has a red jaw very, very soon. Leandrin's fucking bitch all over her. Like that actually happens, right? Like, so if we find out that's already been implanted early, this makes sense, right? Or if literally the Forsaken are already out, like what happens 3 books later, then this makes sense. And it's gonna be one of those things where like, oh, you doubted us as the writers. How fucking dare you? Like, all right, you're right, but also fuck you. Otherwise, this to me is sacrificing for no reason. The book kind of all Borderlanders should be respectful of Aes Sedai. I love that. I think
but also like even if you were gonna paint him in that
Corner.
light, or like if you're using Algamar as like that like character of like he's
Yeah.
a king and or a lord and he's acting this way towards Aes Sedai because not everybody trusts the Aes Sedai and blah
Yeah.
blah blah. Like worst character to pick to do that with, kind of. You know, and then I don't know. There was a lot of weird part, and then the second he was like, "Everything's fine." Oh, is that what you're trying to say? My mistake. Welcome to Faldera. You're like, what? Like you just made him like a fucking crazy person because he was
You made him
like,
a
"Fuck
dick
you! I'm
for
gonna
no
cut you off every 2 seconds," and then right into like, "Hey, welcome to Faldera. Everything's fine." I totally misunderstood.
And one time, and I love the fact that the irony, by the way, I hope you appreciate Taffy, is coming real soon, just like Otto. One time I would love to do a deep dive of some of the obnoxiously bad theories of some of these dudes who believe that it's because he wants to show women, like whatever the fuck. There are some bizarrely fucked up guys. And I love you all very, very much.
What? Oh no, yeah, that's our core audience, Jono.
Yeah, I know. Oh yeah, no, I know. I'll suck you guys off later. But I love like the fodder that gave them briefly for no fucking reason. You're all scum. But so it's just I don't know. There's something just bizarrely fascinating about all of what this kind of bequeathed when all it could have just been a little bit better of just following either A.
He should have just been respectful of the fact that she was a Aes Sedai, period, let alone like somebody of like actual standing and like actually respected her and let her finish a fucking sentence
for years.
Yes, I think yes, that's the part where I'm like, what the fuck? Maybe it was an Aes Sedai he didn't know. I'd be like, okay, well, maybe he's like, who the fuck is this person? Like, get the fuck out of here, like, you know. And then he's like, oh, it's Moraine. I'm gonna treat you like shit. So oh wait, you have common sense to tell me. Never mind. Respectfully apologize. Like what the fuck, man.
So Joe, Taffy, real quickly. Clearly, this is a desert landscape, right?
We're getting really into the weeds here.
No, hold on.
Very over time.
Shut the fuck up. They're in a desert landscape, right?
High desert. It's high desert.
Yes.
So what would you say they had? No rain. What's her name?
What?
More rain. God damn it. Happy, why'd you make me say that out loud?
Don't say it like that. Ever.
Hey, what'd you think about Min's origin? And she saw Tam's sword, and that's the same sword that Rance has now. And like, what? We're moving past Algamar.
I can understand your being upset with that. I was a little when I saw that. I was like, "What? Why is he being such a dick?" But everything there's like almost everything is purposeful as far as setting up story and backstory and stuff, right?
Yeah.
So I'm going to take it for that. Or I could just say, you know what? Fuck them for doing that to him, making him being a little bitch. I'm mad about it, and I'll be mad with you guys forever.
Yeah. I get it. I'm on both sides. I'm with you, Tabby.
Where am I at?
I don't know.
What are we talking? What's next?
But I'm there with you.
Oh, and I like how his sister.
I was talking about Min's origin.
In your room, and
What do you guys think about it?
She's doing
I don't think it's polite to talk about men's origin. I think
on.
that's kind of a very adult topic to talk about a woman's origin. I assume. Oh, ring. I'd rather talk first about.
What?
First,
I'm
we
sorry.
have 2 more minutes.
No,
Sorry,
we don't.
I'm not here.
We have nothing to do. Your wife's passed out. Your husband's awake. I've been texting him dick pics. We got nothing to
He
do.
wants to come out.
Yeah.
I don't want it to be a 5-hour episode.
Fuck it.
Let's wrap.
I'll tell you
this
what.
shit up.
I will. You know what, Joe?
Am I the Tom of this episode? What
You are the Tom of this episode. You're a piece of shit. I will do this. I will stay up for the next 30, 40
Min
minutes.
was serving drinks. Weird.
Yeah. I wanted to talk instead about, before that, how
All right, go ahead, John.
weird it is with Moraine with the Reddijaw thing. We talked about it briefly beforehand in the spoiler stuff for the show. But Moraine giving Matt up to the Reddijaw sets a few things in motion. It's either awful writing, leave that alone, or again, I don't mind that as a problem.
I'm pretty sure that's my answer, but continue.
Maybe it's a red herring, just like communism in Clue, and in fact, this is going to get first to somehow the Amirlan, and therefore there's going to like a weird way of creating strife and muddying the waters. 3, maybe she actually believes it, which again doesn't make sense. Literally considering.
I'm leaning towards that because it's the show, but
yeah.
Okay.
Or 4.
Or D.
A2D. What if she knows there's literally no damage that can happen to Matt? Which, if you remember, is said earlier in the actual. Oh, I hate Discord. I've got it on my phone. I don't know how to fucking.
He does hate Discord.
It's like condoms to me, huh? Also,
You don't want to come out?
do you like
I'll
that?
go hang out in Discord. You guys want to talk all night? Well, all right. Links in the description below because it's YouTube and I don't have to tell things to people. It's down there somewhere.
There's literally this thing about when Perrin comes down with wolfness, right? She says like, the Reddijaw would love to capture you, and Perrin is scared shitless. And she's like, guess what? It wouldn't do anything, right? You wouldn't, even if I channeled a fucking weave at you, it wouldn't do anything.
Mm-hmm.
Is Otto about to come in?
No, Joe's saying some
What?
funny stuff.
No.
But you don't hear him.
Yeah, I'm pretty.
Joe's saying some funny stuff.
Yeah, I've had a few drinks.
Also, what is that?
Have you?
What is the band that does "Get Down with the Sickness"? But when I said "Down with the Wolfness,"
Richard Cheese.
Down with the Wolfness.
Yeah, it's Richard Cheese. Because I don't know what the real answer is, but that's the better answer.
Get up, come on, get down with the sickness.
Also Matt Tom saving Matt from the Reds, and then Matt being parented of all Aes Sedai is a good setup.
Yes, Kerwi is correct.
Distributed, disturbed.
Disturbed.
Is what you're
Okay.
looking for.
Did you pronounce that wrong, or did he?
Do you want me to show it again? Disturbed.
I love. We are the dickest podcast ever. There's like one spelling
It's
error.
Black Tower. They know we're fucking around, Jono. Come on.
All right, go on. Sorry, Taffy.
I said Black Tower Pod's Down with the Wolfness.
Oh, wow.
Exactly. So we get the first glimpse at a blight here, and Jono was like, "Fuck that! It doesn't look good enough." And all I wrote was, "I hope the show shows how dangerous it actually is," because they just like brushed 1,000 plants and probably dozens of bugs as they walked into the blight. I was like, Lan would have been like, "Don't touch that leaf," but like Moraine and Rand are going in by themselves, and they're just like knocking into shit.
I have to admit, the blight that's shown in the books, I think, is perfectly easy probably to show. You just show a few like trees that have like red shit at first, and then it gets darker as you go further, and also just more menacing. Like this just looks like death. Right, all right, fine. Death is interesting on its
Yeah,
own.
it just looks like it's
So
yeah.
there is a distinct border, and it is like weird looking, and maybe
It
that
sucks.
is their version of like there's a red leaf over there. You know, like maybe they're just like there's the border. It gets way worse in there. This is nothing. This is just drooping trees. Like we're just at the edge.
I don't want to. Anyway, Taffy, you go first. I'm sorry.
No, I totally get what you're saying. Like, but maybe the edge also is just more of like the older. It's just death, and then, that's just it's decayed and done. But as you move in further, that's where it's actually more dangerous. And
Yeah.
So I would, and again, I sound like such a nitpicky dick. Nitpicky.
Agreed.
But the thing is, this is the furthest south that Blight has extended in a long time, right? This is like a lunge from the loins of the Dark One. I love that term. And so it's kind of really a make or break point here for all the Borderlanders, especially like here at Tarwin's Gap.
Yeah.
So
I just highlighted this comment from Black Tower because this is the same thing I said about the ways. Because I was like,
oh yeah,
a part of a game board, like, and like, you know what I mean? It's very modular, and they can move it around and be like, "There's
that's
more
not
tunnels."
A good thing. Like, and I get that your CGI budget
okay.
has like like 8, like whatever percentage. But
I like the overall look, but the very concrete border is weird. Okay, all right.
I don't
It looks scary.
Like that's totally fine. Or Kerwee. Because that's the thing is it's like the way it's described is they're walking through and all of a sudden like Matt's just delighted like I can loosen my collar. It's hot.
Yeah, it's not freezing cold up here. Yeah, I get you.
It's followed by like that's cool as shit. And again, maybe you don't want to put that in there, right? That's a lot of A, there's people, and B, that's you have to show that.
Why
kind of
do you keep following up A with B? It's
because
very disturbing to me.
I'm so sorry.
Part of this process. Just let them do it.
All right, so why is the skull on the tree furthest to the edge? Kerwee says.
Because it's the oldest death that.
Or maybe that's just or the newest death. And then like every time they kill a bunch of people, it just advances a little further and just like eats their bodies up or whatever. I don't know.
Yeah, that makes more sense actually. No.
I just hope the show conveys how dangerous the blight is because I feel like they're not doing the same service to the dagger. And other aspects that I'm like, why aren't they showing how fucking horrifying that is? Like, why was Moraine able to heal the dagger in like one by herself with nothing? Well, assumedly she wasn't using an agriel that may or may not be in a gun holster around her body.
She used an agriel earlier. Like, there's so many things. I don't know. I'm fascinated by all of it, frustrated by much of it, but delighted by most of it. Do you like that? It's an exciting, it's exciting kind of.
That was good.
Partitioning of, but I don't know. The episode I'm looking forward to the most here is the episode where we get shit hammered and discuss our entire thoughts of season 1.
Oh yeah, that's a good preamble into a horrible segue. Taffy's going to come back for our season overview if she'll have us.
You guys will have me. I wanted to ask you.
Get out of here.
Ask you about like, do you think that it's possible that Moraine just thought that she healed Matt and she hasn't, and that's going to come up even next season?
Yeah. So based on that, as Kerwee just said, agreed. I still think that was her first healing, not the final one, and that's very possible. That like that's easily, the end of that scenario. Like there's more to be happening there. Matt gets picked up by the Red Aja. Who knows? I don't know.
Picked up by the Red Aja changes so much, or Matt actually having like, what's the right term? Kind of a, secondary illness here, right?
Mhm.
Is possible. All of it really, it works perfectly. And I assume they reshot one or two things. I loved Barney Harris in this season. Honestly, I think that he stole every fucking episode he's been in, or every scene.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah.
But at the same time, it's almost serendipitous, or I guess that's called rewriting.
Maybe Matt will be recast in season 3, and it's Barney Harris.
I love it. That's amazing.
I love if season 1, 3, 5, and 7 are Barney Harris.
You just skip seasons. Matt's an intense character, guys. You don't understand. I have to get into it, and then I'm freaking out, and then I need a
Barney
year, and then I'm
Harris's
back in.
favorite actor was Matthew Perry, and was just like, you know what I want to do? I want to vacillate and wait after doing some.
All right, wrap this shit up, guys. What are your final thoughts?
No.
I have a question for you. What? No, we're doing it. What's your final thoughts? And here's my final question. Will they meet them at the Eye of the World, or is this a Rand Moraine episode?
Ooh. They have to meet them at the Eye of the World, because I think that so this is my hope, and even though I love everything that's happened on the show, I'm a strict book reader. Fuck all of you for changing anything. But at the same time, I love you for doing it. I want them to meet them at the Eye of the World because I think Lan has the ability to get him through it because he grew up there. Literally, we're walking into Malkier, and if you change that, walking into Malkier is of course a Jimmy Page and Robert Plant CD from '95. If you change the fact that Malkier is there, I'm very upset. So B, I think that there is massively important ideas of multiple ta'veren to be there. And I think that was one of the things that made that an endearing thing for the first book and for other books. Thirdly, this isn't the last goddamn battle, you stupid bitch. I'm talking to Rand. Rand's the stupid bitch. Just real quickly. D.
Yes.
No,
when I heard that last battle thing, I was all, ugh. Why
I want them.
Shut the fuck up.
I want there to be a massive dichotomy between Eye of the World, Dark One's prison.
Yeah,
they are so.
They'll be like, we were wrong. This is like
different.
Maybe.
Curly says Land goes after them. The others fight where they are. Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, there's no wrong answers.
It's kind of cool because we don't really know what the fuck's going to happen because they've changed some stuff. So
yeah, because they've changed so much, and that makes it more fun for us.
Yeah, it does. Actually.
Honestly, I really do enjoy the fact that they've made it more fun for us.
Right.
Keith says, when is season overview? By the way, this might sound like news, but after the season.
What? Amazing.
It seems weird that I'm simultaneously broadcasting that here and also making it our secret. But
2 weeks from
when
now,
the season's over, we will overview the season.
This wasn't the season overview? I thought that's what this was.
Penultimate episode, Wendy.
Did you see who came out to visit? He was trying most of the time to come visit, and he wanted to say hello.
Taffy, what's your response to will they meet in the Eye of the World? What do you think?
Well, yeah, because they're all pretty determined to go because they all want to save each other. So that's why she knew. Oh, look at we got.
I think so, and I think
it's the baby that podcast. Oh, look at that.
Yeah. Talking. I think also like Land coming into that room and being like, Moraine masked the bond, something's happening, and they're like, Rand. Like I feel like that's gonna be them like rushing out behind them. But
sure, yeah, because she knew that no matter who it was, they were all committed to each other and would go. But she was trying to let go of Land too. She's like, go say goodbye. She knows he's getting close with Nynaeve. You know what I mean? So she was ready to sacrifice and break off from him too and go off with whoever it was. And she was hoping they would come to her and that's what happened because she's very smart. She knows things are going.
I'll be honest. I'm disappointed about the amount of time we spent on their fest, but I get it.
What, the last part of like them deciding?
Yeah.
Well, what do you want to spend time on instead?
Oh, we don't need to. I know Joe right now is disappointed that I'm bringing it up, but I just think that
Yes.
we could always talk
yes,
about
yeah.
how do you think they had sex? Like, do you think that she was like staring at his like scars? Do you think that like he's got those scars on his penis? Like, what exactly? Like, again,
He's for sure got scars on his penis. That's a ridiculous statement.
yeah. So, Taffy, take it away.
If anything, there's less
What
armor
else
down
would
there
he-
than up
How
here.
else would he actually be asleep while she was getting dressed? I mean, I know that she's pretty stealthy, but at this point, we've realized it's almost like Land is he's only Batman around her. Like, you know what I mean? Like, he doesn't really give a shit really about anybody else, but when it comes to her,
High
like,
chance of rabies.
senses her and stuff. So, I mean, if that's what they want to do.
COVID positive. Yeah. These bats. Yeah, they're delightful.
Get over him not sensing the Trollocs and hearing Fane fucking whistle in the wind.
Oh, so yeah. Again, sorry, trash cat. So that's a wonderful.
Oh, don't do that. John, don't do that. Like scars on his penis. That's what it is from going through. Yeah, that's right.
That's the name of my album.
I mean, by
Yeah.
the way, Shake Do from the Branch. That's what
Thank
Tam
you
did
for using
to Rand's mom
the
earlier today.
sword form. Thank you for using a sword form. That's one of my favorite things to do. That's so great.
By the way, that's the deepest cut tWoTcast joke of all time that everyone, and I mean everyone, has stolen from us.
What's that?
It's not a deep cut.
What? I said that is a deep cut tWoTcast joke that everyone has stolen from us.
What's
But
that?
if
Sex
everyone's
sword
saying
forms?
It's no longer a deep cut.
Everyone, John.
Quite shallow. You know what they should do? It's just tell their own jokes.
Jesus Christ.
If you guys have been
You're
doing
right.
that longer, then I technically stole it from you because your Twitter account is older than mine. And I don't think I made those jokes
Son
on
of a
the other
No, I'm not saying it wasn't in everyone's brains.
Oh,
It was in all of our brains, but no one said it out loud until tWoTcast.
well, yeah.
Just like Vagina Island, we were there
Why,
first.
why do you think we're here? Like loving you guys all this time because
I don't
you
know.
taught us that it's this sick shit that we would think about or associate with was okay. Yeah, it's totally fine.
I love the blue pill sharpens the blade as a sword form. Very modern. In 90s at least.
It's
Beautiful.
modern. There's
Yeah.
a new movie. It's modern.
What else we got here, Joe?
We have you ending the show.
Oh, hold on. Let me do this real quickly. I need to
Wait, are you consulting your notes?
I
Oh,
have no
yeah,
idea
yeah.
what he's doing.
Oh, the best part is I just got 2 texts. I haven't had my phone near me. The best part is I've gotten these texts from Joe. End this.
End
End
this
this now.
now.
Text
Yeah.
messages.
Ends up Joe.
You know what? There's stuff that you guys didn't talk about from other shows.
Go on,
Oh.
Taffy.
Well,
Go on,
That can be
Taffy.
done in a season overview.
Oh, do I really have to hold on to it for them? Just one. Just one.
Just
You
do
do.
one. Yeah, do one.
Nope. All right, just one. Just one.
Do
All right,
one.
just one.
Okay.
You son of a bitch, Taffy.
No, no.
You son of a bitch, I'm in.
But listen. I didn't get to tell you guys.
Yeah.
When Lan joins Moraine in the hot tub and he's like gets in there and he starts hinting at her to like
Oh, hashtag land buns? Yeah.
Yes. But he starts hinting, he's like, it could be warmer. He doesn't just come out and say, bitch, make it hotter. This is shitty or whatever. He's like, can you make it warmer? Make it warmer. What if she started channeling bubbles and made it seem like she was like passing a bunch of gas to like heat up the water. That was what I thought before she even did this thing.
I love that. I love that so much. It's not even funny. And the mere fact that they didn't make that appear more like a jacuzzi and/or flatulence disturbs me.
That's going to be in season 2.
What's your other thought?
Fucking better be.
Just to piss Joe off. What's your other thought?
Oh, I had a couple notes.
God damn it, Jono. That was the perfect ending.
I know. But I love just
fucked
like
it up, Jono.
Ruining it.
When Nynaeve gets away from the Trolloc and she looks over and the one Trolloc goes over like he's like at first you think, oh, is he concerned? He's going to try to help it, but he starts tearing it apart and eating it. It's like that scene from Galaxy Quest and like the miners, and when Sigourney Weaver's like, oh yeah, children, like, oh, they're going to help the hurt one.
Well, we can
like
always
that.
talk
And then
about
they start,
Galaxy
like,
Quest.
tearing it apart. It kind of reminded me of that.
So
and Nynaeve, when Nynaeve came out of the sacred pool, it was like
Taffy, you're killing me.
Terminator. Arnold Schwarzenegger. She did the Predator.
We have to get the fuck out of here.
That was so bad.
So that's our episode for this week, covering, of course, episode 7 of the Wheel of Time show, season 1, by a bunch of people, including Rafe Judkins. If you have any comments or questions, leave them below, or leave them in this chat area. Leave them, below, because I don't want to hear them. I want you to leave them. Just leave them. Just let go. Leave them.
You have to type them.
Yeah. In theory, we'll probably respond to them, but in reality, we won't.
You want them to respond? You do it on Patreon. Message them on Patreon. Become a patron of the show.
Oh, thank you, Taffy.
Taffy, look at you.
You are so much better at this.
No. I messaged you on Patreon. You guys never fucking wrote me back.
I didn't write you back. You know why?
Why?
Because you have my phone number. It's weird.
You also have my phone
weird.
number.
That's weird that I have your numbers.
It's weird, Taffy.
Okay, I'm sorry. Please go ahead.
Where else on Patreon?
Where else can we get a hold of you?
You can listen.
Who cares? tWoTcast theme songs brought to you by one and only Taffy Bennetton, who was on the show tonight. And also Andrew Bonner of Time, who has never been on the show, but it's only because of scheduling conflicts because he lives halfway around the world. And also we love him, but also we love Taffy more. No offense, Andrew.
You should have Andrew.
Was that good? That was good, right?
Andrew's stuff is really clever and
oh yeah. Links to both of their stuff is below. And it's very good, as Taffy would say.
What else would she say? Taffy, what else would you say?
What else would Taffy? Taffy, what else would you say?
What's around your neck right now?
My snake is a ring necklace.
Is that a great serpent?
He is a great serpent.
It's eating its own tail right now.
He's the greatest serpent.
The greatest serpent in the world. Oh my. That's a tribute from Joe is both halfway delighted and totally disturbed.
Both. It's both.
Yeah, that's okay.
Are you down with the wolfness?
What, Taffy?
Joe, are you down with the wolfness?
Oh,
absolutely not.
We'll get up and get down on my wolfness later.
Hey, what do you think that Tom's feedback is going to be about this? You think we're gonna get in trouble from Tom?
Tom's feedback is
for sure. He's gonna be like 2 hours and 40 minutes. Are you all insane?
Yeah. Yo, we should just.
You're fucking up our YouTube algorithm.
He's gonna be delighted. That's all I can say.
No, he'll love it. He'll love it.
Okay.
Join us next week for more Wheel of Time show, twat show, covering our episodes, episode 8 of the Wheel of Time. The last episode of season 1, which is depressing.
Read that.
I don't know what you're saying. I'm just upset about the fact that that's the last episode, and it's I could not be more excited and at the same time more frustrated. It reminds me of Tom's penis. Tom's penis gets me excited and frustrated.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah.
At his age, I'm happy it works.
Hey,
At his age.
did you guys plan the whole 300 and then starting the one, or did it an accident? Because you know how like it's synced up, like tonight.
No, it did sync up. That was
7,
not
7.
planned, and that was amazingly weird. To answer your question,
You know
not
what
planned.
else wasn't planned?
I really
What?
liked it.
Tom.
I doubt that.
I'm Jono. You been listening to Joe?
Merry Christmas, you filthy animals. Also, I hate Jono so much right now.
Tommy Bennington.
The night is long, the sun is new. Taffy loves the winter. And you say I do too.
I do.
I do too.
Yay.
I was supposed to know the end of that. I do too.
And I do too.
Good night, Kevin.
Among the first to start, the tWoTcast was so smart to lovingly bash our favorite books. But that was long ago, and now they've grown the show, and now they got us in their hooks. Don't throw coins to these bastards, they need bars of gold at least. Someone please keep them afloat. Now let's listen as they once again ramble through a book. Let's get the fucking quote. One of them is Tom, but he is barely on. Sometimes he calls into the show. Another one is Jono. Is he their joker? Oh no. And Joe, is he the stupid one? Welcome to the tWoTcast. We will share our love for books and all our hate in every episode. We'll entertain you, make you laugh so hard you barely can stand up. That is the tWoTcast code.